if you're a human and you're not learning how to use AI in what you do.
Yep, and what you do.
I had this discussion with a friend of mine a week ago. When I first brought it up to him, he was like, that's not true. And I said, no, it is true. And he ended up texting me at 11:30 that same night.
Oh, he was up all night. He went down the rabbit hole.
And he's like, bro, you're right. And I'm like, yes, I know I'm right, dude.
If you're like, I don't think so, it's only because you haven't used it.
Yeah.
Like the second you use it and you dive in, even for a day, like a couple hours, you can't deny it.
It changes the value proposition for an employee as well and how people bill. So all these that have been hiding behind design and coding and all these things to say, oh, it takes this much time. So that's done.
Yep.
How these people are going to be valued now is how fast and what quality they can produce the product. Yep. So it's going to flip the value proposition from time to outcome, which I enjoy. What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society, and welcome to reality, guys. Today, we have a very special Andy and DJ
Cruise the internet.
Cruise the dang internet.
Darn internet. Darn internet.
What is up, bro?
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Now, before we get into it, I'd like to remind you guys that we do have a fee for the show. Send me all your money. That's the fee. If you don't want to send me all your money, the fee is very simple. You could just share the show. All right. So if it makes you think, if it makes you laugh, it gives you new perspective, which this show's for sure going to do. Do us a favor. Don't be a hoe.
Share the show.
All right.
All right. You said it was a special show.
It is special because you're here.
Oh.
Yes.
Hearts.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is very special. So those of you who have listened to the MSCEO project will recognize one of my very good friends who has, for the first time in 6 years, blessed me with his presence here in St. Louis.
Hey, appreciate you having me.
Mr. Billy Jean. What's happening, bro?
DEI.
That's right. I'm fucking outnumbered now. Shit.
Everybody check for wallets.
Hey, listen, bro. Here's how it's going to work, though. It's going to be me and you versus him.
All right, let's go.
That motherfucker's the racist over there.
Let's get it.
So what's happening, bro?
Man, it feels good to be here. Like, it's been 6 years, and I'm honestly, I want to capture this moment on camera because it's happening right now in real time. I want to give proper flowers to you, because 6 years when I came, we were having a beer at Billy Jean's, ironically.
A few beers.
A lot. Yeah. I think we celebrated my birthday or something, and we were just vibing and just had a bunch in common. Like, oh, all boys private school? Like, oh, me too. Football? Like, like all of this. And then we were talking about vision, and at the time, I don't know if you remember, it's like, you had vision, but like you were in a good place. You were happy, like things were good, but coming out here and then seeing that, you guys, like I'm inspired. Like if you haven't seen The Office, it's inspiring. And what I like the most is, look, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm kind of in a weird spot where like I've been in this digital marketing game for like 10, 15 years, met every entrepreneur I ever wanted to meet. And that whole quote about never meet your heroes or your whatever is true.
Yeah, man.
Most people are full of shit. They're fake. They want something. Like, I don't want to start off on a bad note, but it's
no, bro. So that's why you and I have both moved out of that.
100%. And it's just so like, so it's so cool to come here and then see the culture and say everything that you actually talk about and stand for is here. And the first hour I was here, I didn't even talk to you yet, so it wasn't like it was set up to put. No, I came in, everything pristine. You go into this motherfucking gym, like it is a real thing. All the numbers are aligned, etc. Like everybody's doing their thing. It's cool because big things are happening, but it doesn't feel like stuffy and corporate. Like it's just, it's all the things I saw. I think it was like years ago at like, I don't know, some event you were speaking on stage and you talked about culture.
Yeah.
And like you were going on about like people want to know how I'm growing and scaling. You're like, it's all about culture. And then to experience it is there. And then other note, like I come in, like there's a slideshow of me on the thing. The staff is really nice. Everybody's very kind. DJ's like, what's up? We already felt like family. Like we were late in the show. I was like, this feels good. Like it was just taken back. I got a locker. I had a locker, and it was the attention to detail. It was a picture of my girl, my mother, my daughter. It was my birthday was just happened. It was happy belated birthday. Then it was the birthday. It was like I was like to the point where I just started to get mad because I got mad because I had to check myself. I was like, I'm gonna have to go work. I'm gonna have to step my shit up, right? And I don't do bad, but I love that feeling. I like that feeling. Like people talk about emotions, and there's certain emotions that they just classify as bad or shitty. One of those is jealousy. I like to get jealous. Yeah. I like in here being like, oh, so you think you want something, Andy? Okay. Okay, you think, okay. In a healthy, competitive way.
Yeah, for sure,
right?
bro.
Like, like, noted. Like now,
brother, that's what drives. That's what drives people like
100%,
us. Yeah,
100%. And that was with 75 hard. Like people are like, yo, you're doing a 75 hard again. Like, do you want to get healthy? I'm just like, I'm gonna be real. I just want to be better than you.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to be honest.
Dude.
Like, no, I just miss, like, I've always worked out my whole life. I fell off. I just miss coming in and just being like, what's up?
You know what's funny, dude?
I mean?
Yeah, bro, I do. And people don't fucking understand that. Like, the people I'm friends with, I can simultaneously be really good friends with them and still want to be better than them.
100%.
And that's
all love.
That's the motherfuckers I want to be around.
To be.
Because, dude, if you have a winning attitude, the attitude that you really believe in yourself and you know that you're a competitor, you want your friends to get better so that you get better. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't want to hang around that aren't competitive. I want to be around people who, you know, I want to be around people doing better than me. Yeah. Because I'm like, fuck, all right, I got one way or the other or this or that. It's not always like, you know, size of your business. It could be more fit. It could be better at
relationships.
Exactly.
Right. It's 360.
Yeah, bro. So it's like, it's just a different way of thinking. And I think most people don't, we hear this quote all the time on the internet, which I hate.
What's wrong?
Comparison is the thief of joy. No, bro.
No.
Comparison is the source of all progress. That's the truth.
That's a bar.
Yeah, bro. And people don't fucking get it because they're uncomfortable with it.
I wanted to touch on what you said about that 360, though, is because especially like when people will see myself, they'll go, yeah, size of business, money, and that's this part of it.
That's right.
That's this part of it. And so, like, I got friends, so I'm like, man, that motherfucker's a good ass dad. Like, and I take pride of how I am with my daughter, but I'm like, oh, you did what? Okay, noted. Like, or like
we're going to the park right now.
Yeah. We're gonna go play cars. But like, my boy Daniel. If you follow Rob Dyrdek online, like shout out to Rob. Like, but
Rob's a genius, bro.
Oh, he's a real genius, dude, for sure. So when he posts the way that he'll like spoil his wife, or for it's like amazing. All the balloons and all that, I'm like, damn, I gotta shut my girl's Instagram down. Like, you can't go on Instagram today because I can't. I gotta do more. So I love it. It's winning in 360.
Bro, it's funny that you said that because I've always admired that about Rob too. Like, Rob goes over the top Big for time. His family.
Yep.
Easter, birthdays, everything. It's just top notch. And it's so on brand for him because his energy is so good.
Yeah.
Like, I've been around Rob for a while, and like, it's real shit. Like, what you see on TV, he's really like that in person, but even better.
Yeah.
And like that, and I speaking of, I don't think people give him the credit for how smart he is in business. Dude's a fucking genius.
We sat together at this dinner. This is years ago. I don't know, maybe 5 years ago with my buddy Chris Harder, and we sat next to each other for like an hour and a half, and I forgot what we were talking about. I just left there being like, you watch Robin Big or like whatever, and it was just like, it's kind of silly, like, right? Like, it's immature in the same way that I am or you am. We're idiots. Like, you catch us at the right time. Like, these are the dumbest guys ever.
Yes, that's a fact.
But then you have a real conversation, and you're like, oh shit. That's the first thing I thought. I said, that's one of the smartest entrepreneurs I've talked to in a very long time. And then I came here, and what I tell you, I was like, we're looking at the thing. I said, man, I have to commend you because this is hard.
Yeah.
To build this size of organization and to have all the things going, right? Like, that's my whole life, is going into businesses. I've seen every company you think of, Fortune 500 small. The difficulty level is insane.
Yeah.
And y'all are doing it. It's impressive.
Well, I appreciate all that, bro. And I echo all those sentiments to you, bro, because you've come a fucking long way since we first met.
Appreciate you.
We've been friends for probably close to a decade now.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet?
Dude, I think just through the entrepreneur space. We were both speaking and doing stuff. And
it's like a small world. Like, everybody.
Yeah.
Like, you go somewhere and you see the same people.
I'm very thankful for that time in my life, but I'm also thankful to not really be in that anymore because of what you said.
100%.
And I noticed you pulled away too, and just kind of, it's just, dude, there's just too much bullshit.
Well, you know what? It's like, even my assistant now, like, I say no to every podcast, every speaking. You know why? Because I don't want to, one, I like staying at home in San Diego playing tennis.
Me too.
With my group, right? Like, but two is so many scams.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like,
Yeah.
I like, and not just in the speaker world, but just business, period. Like, I remember like the BBB, the very first time I was exposed to them was I got a letter and it was like, somebody said a bad review about you. And I was like, what is this? And it was like someone bought something for like $30. I was like, told my team, I was like, just go refund it, like make it right. And I'll never forget this. They sent a letter back and we responded to their claim or whatever. And they're like, oh, in order to respond to this, you have to pay $60 a year.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, hold on. What you're telling me is people can go in,
Hold you
your
hostage.
reputation,
Yeah.
say anything, and you only let me reply if I pay you.
You know, my thing on canceling, people ask me this all the time. They're like, how do you deal with all these coming after you? It's very simple. If I don't care if it's not real. If it's real and I fucked up, I'll say I'm sorry. But if it's not, I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just
It's also fake life. Like it's like social media. It's fake. It's literally like,
bro,
if
you
you turned
heard
it
that,
off, your life will change none.
Yeah.
Like
You ever heard about the dead internet theory?
No.
So there's a theory. I actually think there's a lot of truth to it. That half the internet or more is just bots.
Yeah. Actually, well, there are a lot of bots.
Yeah.
There's a lot of truth to that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when they, like all the propaganda that they pushed on Twitter and shit, when Dorsey owned, or what's his face?
Jack Dorsey.
Jack Dorsey owned it,
Yeah.
was pushed out by bots. So they're curbing
Twitter
public
was really bad
perception
Yeah.
because of the
Yeah.
bots.
Yeah.
It's, dude, it's
sure.
just, we live in this, it really is a matrix.
Mm.
It's weird.
Yeah. Everyone's creating something.
Yeah. So, dude, you lost how much fucking weight recently?
It was like, I think the total on 75 hard, I think it was like 47 pounds.
Yeah. You crushed
And
it,
then
dude.
it was fun. I gained 7 back fucking around the last week and a half. But I texted Andy to let you guys know. I said, you do a lot of dope shit. I said, I think this is the most important thing you've ever done in your life. And I say that because, and you guys, look, I'm preaching to the choir, right? Where everybody hears from Number 75 Hard and understands the impacts. But to me, I don't believe you can get anything in life without obsession and unbalance.
Totally agree.
And you're right. And I say because there's so many people who preach this balance thing. And I just have come to the conclusion that balance is, right? If I'm balancing, I'm trying to stay where I'm at. That's what balance is used for. If I climb to a mountain, right? You're staying where you're at there. That's not to progress. I think 75 hard is the truth of the true cost of what it takes to get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people don't want to do it. Even me, like I was like, oh God. Like for me, like, because I've done 75 hard and had killer results with it the first time too. When I was thinking about doing it, I was doing it with my girl. I was like, man, I'll be real with you. I don't want to do it. You know why? Because I had to have an honest conversation with myself of, I don't feel like paying the price right now.
Yeah.
I don't feel like paying the price. Like, and that's the conversation people aren't having. Like, listen, I don't want to pay.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to wake up twice. I
Yeah.
don't want to space. I was mad as fuck. And then I went to do it. And my girl's like, make sure you space out the workouts 3 hours. And it's been so long. I was like, dude, is that a real thing? So I texted Andy and I was like, yo, is that real? I have to space out like 3 hours? And he's, yeah. And then I got more mad.
No, you said, you said, help me settle a bet. And I'm like, and then you're like, fucker.
Yeah. And so then it was like, now this thing got really inconvenient, because it's like, especially like playing sports forever. It was like, I just didn't want to go in the mood. And that's because of momentum. But also I believe in who gives a what I feel like. Like what
you didn't get where you are by doing all the shit you feel like.
Yeah, it's like, well, who cares? Like, so, then, a week goes by and now it's like, I'm in the groove. How can I not? And you just realize, the little bitch, as you say, like, is active in all of us. And I think that's the thing. There's not a single person here who's too strong or beyond that. And I promise you, if it's not in the fitness space, there's some other aspect of your life where you're being a little bitch. You're in an argument with somebody, but you won't put your ego aside and be the first person to call. You're being a little bitch. Like, there's something. And that's what a lot of people see, that they have it all. The one part that I've learned, and this is like behind the scenes when you start being cool with everybody, and I'm guilty of this too, Is this like, all right, money's right. Okay, cool. I'm feeling myself. I've been working out a little bit. Check. But the one that's easy to hide, relationships, whether that be your parents, your significant other, your children, that's the easiest one. Especially when you guys see someone who typically classifies as an alpha male, check on them because be like, yo, what's good with your significant other though? Like that's how it is. And one of the greatest lessons I ever learned in business. And it's like, look, you can have it all for like a moment, but I was at this mastermind thing years ago, and they just sat around, there's like 6 dudes in a circle, and they go, so which one's off? I said, what? Which one's off? You know, is it health, money, or relationship? Because one's always and I was like, that's ridiculous. And I was like, it's kind of real.
Yeah.
It's kind of real. Like when you lean into
it's like spinning plates,
away.
Bro. You're like, it's like
100%. Like it's just the juggle. And then you shift back over and then the other thing goes away and you realize, oh, that's the game.
Yep.
That's just the game.
Yeah, keep the plate spinning, dude.
Yeah, keep the plate spinning.
Over here, over here.
And that's all of us. So yeah, it was humbling to get back after it again. It was disappointing to myself to realize I'm like, I got really out of shape. I walked up my hill and I was like, yo, I should not be that tired.
Yeah.
And I'm used to like, you know, because in your brain, I revert back to like the last version of me when I'm like football, or like years after when I'm in my zone. So I'm trying to do that. I'm like, yo, I'm kind of slow right now. Like, yo, this is crazy. And so
it's part of your identity, bro. You see yourself as all these things. And you don't realize that, you know, comfort has started to like erode the truth of what you actually are versus what you think you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's comfort is very, it seduces, bro. And it's like it's very good at it. It's very gradual. And, you know, it starts with, you know, one to sit, you know, okay, today I'll, you know, not work out today and I'll do it twice tomorrow or shit like that. Right.
Yes.
And then before you know it, dude, you're looking around and you're like, wait, this isn't what the I am. I don't look anything like what I want to look. I'm not who I am.
No.
And then it slaps you in the face and you realize.
That was the worst part.
Yeah, bro.
My old me was like always rationalizing how easy it is to get it back.
Yeah.
So I just keep putting it off, you know? And then I had to look at the point, I'm like, Billy, what are you doing? You're fat as right now. And I yelled at my friends. I was like, yo, I'm mad at you guys because you guys should have called me and said you're fat as right now.
Yeah.
In those words.
Yeah.
Not,
I know.
Hey, bud.
Yeah.
You maybe should work out a little. Hey, Chip. No.
Yeah.
Nigga, what are you doing? You're fat as right now. What are you doing? What are you talking about? You're fat as fuck right now.
Yeah.
Like, give me that. You know, that's what I needed.
That's real friendship.
That's real friendship.
Yeah.
You know, like, and so even like between 75 hard, and then I was teaching class. My students are like, yo, every week I saw you were dropping. He's like, this week you didn't. And I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
I was
bro.
like, okay, like,
bro,
thank
you remember?
Appreciate you.
You remember when I was fat as like, dude, I was pissed at everybody too. I'm like, what the guys? Like I will certainly call you fat. Like what
so call it to me too.
Yeah. Man. But yeah, dude, you know, it's cool to have you here, man, and it's really cool to see you kicking ass and doing it. So you're getting heavy into the AI shit now. I mean, that's pretty much all you're doing, right?
Obsessed.
Yeah.
So like I'm like very I'm a gamer, right? So like, and I always have been like my whole life. And so, and I'm also a video guy, right? I make videos around it. You guys probably see my ads before, etc. Like I'm obsessed. I get like psycho about things. So when December 2022, when ChatGPT, we'll call it democratized, meaning AI has been around for decades, but when all of us got, you know, access to it, I'll never forget. I was sitting with my boy, shout out to Mike Arcee, you know Mike Arcee. Yeah. And he's like, we went to a basketball game. And he's like, hey man, like, what do you think about the ChatGPT thing? And I'm so used to marketing things coming and going because I'm always pitched with him, right? And I'm like, another thing. So my first reaction was, eh. And then he's like, just trust me. And he's like, watch me write a rap song for you. And this is like, now everyone's used to ChatGPT doing that. But this was like right in the beginning. And I was like, okay, do it. And it did it in like 2 seconds. That day, I probably didn't sleep for 3 months. I think I spent 50 to 75 grand hiring AI consultants, everything you can think of. I put on an event. The first thing I did, I put on an event. I told my people, I said, this is going to be the biggest thing since the internet, Facebook, social media, everything. AI's there. People were like, you're just fear mongering. You're just right away. And I was like, y'all, this is it. I said, I'm paying these experts I'm going to go live with them on Zoom. You can join in. I said, I'm coming in learning just like y'all. You can come in. And I did like the biggest online AI event at the time, which was, I think we had like 3,000 or 4,000 people, but nobody was, doing it. And so to the point where we were riding that momentum, I'm learning a bunch. I'm putting out content. Here's what I'm learning, et cetera. And then I knew I was on to something because then Procter & Gamble reached out. Hey, can you come teach our offices in this country? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, now I'm doing these calls. And now I'm seeing how it works at the big companies. Okay, how do we implement this? And I'm just going down this rabbit hole. And I'll sum it up like this. I'll bring this even deeper, and then we can kind of talk about it. People like you, people like me, people like you, I think we're in for a rude awakening. And here's what I mean. Your brand, your show is all about doing the hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. I'm like, do it. I get it. I think we're coming to the first time where hard work isn't going to be celebrated, so people don't need a hard man anymore. Here's what I mean. My daughter's 9. Think about how she's growing up. She presses a button, food shows up.
Mm-hmm.
She presses a button, clothes show up. She's in school, everything is done on the computer, like book reports, there's Spark Notes. Remember when we first got the TI-83 calculator? Did all the fancy stuff, and you could spell boobs.
Yeah. That's right.
Right?
Boobies.
Before that, y'all had like the beans on the pole.
sliding. Yeah.
For me? Yeah.
So like now my daughter's growing up with all of that. And I just said to myself the other day, because she's running the mile this week. So I was running with her, and she was just like, I was like, sweetheart, she was just being a baby. And I was like, all right, I love you. We're going to practice this together. And then it just hit me. I just said, you know what's the truth? She may never need to work hard. And I believe AI is so powerful that in the next decade, it's so much smarter and it does things so much better than us. It will be weird that a human does it. She's never going to have to work hard, which is crazy. And it hurts my soul.
Yeah.
It hurts my soul. But I mean that. Like, think about you guys, everybody watching, like since you've been using ChatGPT, be real. Shit got easier, right? Like, you're like, you need to write an email. You're like, let me put this in ChatGPT. Like,
I think it depends on how you look at it. I think so. Where I came, first of all, like I was 100% against it because I think there's an ethical responsibility to provide income for people.
Yes.
And so I was like, I didn't even look at the thing. I was
right.
I'm not looking at this shit. That
I seen iRobot.
Yeah. Well,
I know.
Right.
It's real.
And bro, for years I was trying to warn people. I was like, listen, dude, you guys should reject this shit. And then I figured out after, it's coming no matter what.
Yeah.
There's no stopping it.
Yeah.
And so at first I was like, fuck, nobody's going to have jobs. That's what I thought at first. And then I started like kind of looking into it and learning, and I started realizing I see it as like a weapon.
Yep,
okay.
It's a tool.
Like if you're like equipping yourself with the proper weapons, you're going to be able to move much better.
100%.
And so I think people who start to understand how to utilize it properly as an employee,
yep,
and exponentially increase their output are going to be extremely valuable.
Yes.
And then there's going to be people who, make videos of their cats and shit, right? And those people are going to get fired.
Yep.
And then I think from a company standpoint, instead of looking at it like, oh, we could fire everybody and run the company, the good companies are going to say, well, we could scale 10 times bigger with the same amount of people.
Yes.
Right. But in terms of like performance as a human and working hard, I think to even, the nature of using it, you have to be intelligent, which requires studying, right? You can't, if you don't have, like somebody like you or me, we're at a tremendous advantage with it because of the real world experience that we have.
For sure.
Like if you take someone who's straight off the street, they can't understand the concepts of an ecosystem or how a project should flow, or and dude, you could watch every video from every fucking online nerd and they can talk about it, but unless you've actually done it or built it, you really don't get it. It sounds confusing.
There's no
100%.
comprehension.
But I think that is, so I'm 100% same page.
But what I think though, dude, I think there's another element to this. Like I think, okay, so what's going to happen is we're going to have a situation where a lot of people don't have the same obligations in terms of work that they have to do, which means they're going to have free time.
Yeah.
And I think it also, when we think about it, the more technology-driven society is, the more lonely people are.
Yes.
So more time, more loneliness equals a desire for some sort of other mission plus community. Mm-hmm. So what I think where the companies and the people are going to go, I really think it's going to, because dude, it's going to take people, businesses figuring this out. But when you provide a community that improves, fitness or work ethic, because you have to be smart to fucking do this shit, I think you're still going to have to work hard, but I think it's in a different way than what we're used to.
I think what you said is huge. The work smarter, not harder, is the realest thing ever. Yeah. Right?
Bro, you're still going to want to be a fat fuck. That takes hard work.
For sure.
You're still going to want to be a well-rounded human being. That takes work. You're still going to need to consume. I think also, companies that produce, where it's really going to fuck people is straight up info people. If you make a CPG product or anything that people consume, food, any of that shit, you're going to always have business. Alcohol, weed, you're going to be able to make money, and probably more money because people are going to have more time. But, it's just going to be a different thing.
Question to you, what happens when it takes one person to do the job that's currently being done by 10 people?
Well, that means 9 people aren't going to have a fucking job.
And that is what problem with that is. Ideally, it sounds good until you go macro e-com and you realize, oh shit, that's most people in the country.
That's most of your customers.
Yeah, most of your customers, so most people in the country.
The economic
the
system,
government just starts
they're going to have
out
to
checks, and that's where I go.
Well, and that's
fuck,
bro.
dude.
That's where we get into we have to be very careful about avoiding communism because that's a very open gateway.
Can we?
Yeah, I think we can.
Is capitalism going to die?
I don't know. It's a good discussion.
Fuck.
I think it will change. I don't think it'll be.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's still very wealthy individuals in China.
Yeah.
Right. Some of the wealthiest people are in China. I think what it's going to do more so, and this is not a good thing, but if you're willing to work hard, it's going to be good for you. Mm-hmm. But it's going to for people who are ambitious and have goals and have drives and have dreams and they want to do things, it's going to be easier than ever for them to win.
Facts.
Because they're going to have the weapons to win. They're going to have more opportunity because more people are not going to try.
Yep.
So there's less competition because, dude, because when we look at the way our economic system is set up, it's set up on leverage of debt onto the individual. Go to school, get a degree, get in debt. Now you have to work. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's powerful.
Yeah. And people don't really think of it like that. They just think of it as the way it is.
Yeah.
But if you remove that leverage off of people, what will they do? We don't know yet.
Unfortunately, that's where I think we do know because historically humans choose lazy.
Yeah. But bro, those people eventually, look, man, it's what they want. It's what they want. That's why they let it out in the open.
I have a question. What do you think about this? So from a management standpoint, what I have learned from, seeing different companies, and even experiencing it in mine, it's I don't think most people actually desire what you or I may desire. I think most people desire to just chill.
Why is that?
It's a good question. I don't know.
I think it's because they've given up on the idea that it's even possible.
They don't even know it's possible.
I think most people are bred culturally into believing that success is for other people, not for them.
I agree.
And that it's some sort of mystical thing that happens to some people and doesn't happen to other people, which I thought that too, dude. Mm-hmm. Until I figured out that it was just math. It's just doing shit. Well, 1 + 1 equals 2.
On top of that, though, when you demean success and you make it be this bad, scary thing, so not only are you not seeing it, but
now it's a moral high ground to not have it.
Or if you got money, you're greedy. And greedy people are bad.
I hate that shit.
You know what I'm saying? So you add that on top of it, it's terrible. I think the AI thing, I don't think if we leave it up to the people to try to regulate the shit, it'll never happen. because the consumer has changed completely.
Well, they are going to make. Here's what I think.
Government has to regulate this shit.
And I think they're going to. And here's why I think
they
that.
started.
Because it's going to put lawyers out of business. All right. And lawyers are the government, and they look out for their own. And so once these motherfuckers up in Washington figure out what's going to happen to their trade, it's going to be, I think they're going to try to lock it the down, but dude, I don't think they can.
It's like Napster, right? When they shut down Napster for a little bit, and then
LimeWire,
Spotify,
Apple, all this shit.
It's so far gone. I don't even know.
But dude, I think it's just going to expose who has ambition and who doesn't. And I think for the message that you and I, because we've both been very big in the personal development space for a long time.
Yeah. I
think people will always have ambition. I think there's certain people who will always desire to win. I think most people, dude, most of the people that I'm around want to win, but don't know how to win or don't believe they can.
I think you have that, but I think there's also this majority of people, a lot of people who don't view it like that. One, they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't view it like that. They go, yo, I've been struggling for so much of my life. And this is their story. Who cares about the reality? This is what they're thinking. My parents weren't together. I've been paycheck to paycheck. Everybody I knew was paycheck to paycheck. And now the government is offering me a check where I don't have to worry about rent. I don't have to do any of that. And I can just live and get a stipend. It's hard to imagine.
Well, we already have that.
Denying it, right? Yeah, it's welfare.
Yeah.
You can take it.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be the first time where right or left, it's like a joint conversation because it's coming for everybody's jobs.
Yeah.
Right. And so I really do worry about is it if you can't beat them, join them kind of attitude for the masses, right? And I don't like that idea. It's anti normal to me and what I've seen lead to success. But it's just fuck, I don't know.
Well, I also think, dude, you don't have to work.
No.
I don't have to work. Okay. And what would your life be if you didn't? You would lack purpose. You would lack fulfillment. You would be depressed.
See, we get that being here.
But bro,
anybody listening is going to be like,
no.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but
right?
Motherfucker, they get it too. They just don't understand that they have it. Dude, go to Walmart, go to shopping centers and watch people. They're miserable, bro. They have no purpose. They are very cynical about their existence.
True.
They are generally very negative. Hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm living the dream.
All the sarcasm.
Yeah, bro. And it comes from no purpose. There's no purpose in a lot of these jobs anyway. They show up, and type some shit out, and then they go home.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something you're gonna hate.
Yeah,
because this is a dark side of where I think the world. This is what I'm betting on, and I don't like it. Hopefully, we can change it, but I want to discuss it. So let's go to this position, which I am pretty sure, because I don't know how it cannot happen, where either the costs for things are subsidized by the government, because I don't know how anyone can afford anything, or you're getting checks. Okay, now that happens. Now, what you said is a real thing. People do need to feel purpose, etc. Now we're also in the era where gaming is bigger than everything. Grand Theft Auto trailer for the new one just came out. It's the biggest thing in media.
Yesterday.
Oh, it's the biggest thing in media ever, in history, entertainment ever.
We're gonna start our own server, bro.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Yeah.
So people really get a kick out of living through their avatars. Mm-hmm. So what I fear is people go, you know what? It's just a feeling that I'm chasing anyway. So if I have rent covered, etc., and now I can feel purpose inside of my fake world, there it is. Because watch how easy it is to clone and live a fake person. So I worry if this is going to be blinded
Well, that's where we get into where this is a stop and start.
Yeah,
because right now, dude.
Talking to a human?
Well, dude, and that's why, right now we have this situation. Where's the legality? What? I mean, do you not?
Wild, Wild West.
Do you not own your own IP? Right.
Now that's what goes to what you said, where the attorney that goes all in on AI and says, "I'm going to be this practice," they're going to be rich as. Yeah. They're going to kill it. They're going to be the hard worker.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are going to be like, I went to 6 years. I'm $300,000 in debt. Yeah. I've been doing all of this. Just give me the stipend.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's assuming that the stipend is livable.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point. Now, that's a good point.
If it's welfare level, you're not going to remove the ambition.
No, that's a good point.
Because
that's touche.
Yeah, dude, I think it's going to come down to the basic human. I always break it down in natural order. Winners are going to win. Losers are going to lose.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to come down to. And I think it's going to be I think a lot of people are really, I think a lot of people selling low value information are
For
like
sure.
this. You're not going to be able to go on the internet anymore as some like average dude
No.
and be like, oh, I have this coaching program and it's this. Those dudes are done.
For sure.
I think that's a good thing though, because I think like we said, there's so much bullshit.
Well, you said the most powerful thing earlier, which is the C word, community.
Yeah.
Like that, the community and loneliness, I really do think are going to be the biggest challenges.
Well, yeah,
coming up
you're
over
going to
the
have
next
two
decade.
kinds of people. You're going to have people that want to live in their avatar, who want to sit on their couch and be a fat and jerk their own dick. And then you're going to have that want to go out and fucking be the real deal and get laid.
And get
yeah.
their dick jerked.
Yeah,
You
that's
do it,
right.
Jerk your own, or someone's going to do it for you.
Yeah, and it's going to be two distinct.
have AI
Don't we
jerk
already
you off.
have that though?
Yeah.
Don't we already have that? Don't those people do that anyway?
Yeah, that's true.
And don't the other people
it's not
do?
going to change. Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, dude, here the reality is, if you're a human right now and you're not learning how to use AI in what you do,
yep, and what you do.
I had this
keywords.
discussion with a friend of mine a week ago, and when I first brought it up to him, he was like, "That's not true," and I said, "No, it is true," and he ended up texting me like at like 11:30 that same night.
Oh, he was up all night. He went down the
Yeah,
rabbit hole.
and he's
Saw
like,
it,
"Bro,
yeah.
you're right," and I'm like, "Yes, I know I'm right, dude." And
this is, I would say, just for anyone listening, it's like, if you're like, I don't think so, it's only because you haven't used it.
yeah,
Like the second you use it and you dive in, even for a day, like a couple hours, you can't
it
deny it.
changes the value proposition for an employee as well and how people bill. Okay, like for so long, this idea of billing for hours has existed. That's not going to exist anymore.
No, thank God.
It's no shit.
Thank God.
All these
I mean,
motherfuckers,
Jesus, that's such
all
a
these
shit.
motherfuckers that have been hiding behind, design and coding and all these things to say, oh, it takes this much time, so
Complete
I gotta,
bullshit.
yeah, that's done.
Yep.
How these people are gonna be valued now is how fast and what quality they can produce the product.
Yep.
So it's going to flip the value proposition from time to outcome, which I enjoy.
And it frees up time.
Yes, because
It frees
now
up time,
we can move. Like
Yeah.
I would
We can do
much
some
rather
shit, yeah.
I would much rather pay somebody more for outcome
Yes.
fast
Yes.
than get drug along in this painful f***ing time thing.
We restructured my whole marketing department, like the way that we do it. So this is, for me, it's VAs and AI. And so I told our team, I said, hey guys, no one here can do anymore. You must manage. Meaning everyone's kind of a super employee. So you take someone who's been like an account manager, running advertisements, all these kind of things. It's like, no, you have a team of VAs on your team and they use AI tools.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden you, one person, are doing the work of 20.
You have a
just
whole
like that.
Yeah, and you're doing it with your voice.
Dude, even
Do this, do that, do this.
It's all
and then
voice
and
command.
not only that, then after you do that 3 or 4 times, the thing knows what you're going to say and it just
God.
does it. So then it shows up and your shit's done.
And you can create an agent to automate all those tasks. It's like you
Bro.
can do so much.
Bro,
Even right
bro,
now, we
think
have,
about this.
Go ahead.
Like here's something I've been thinking about is like, so you got Grok, you got Chat, you got all these other ones, right?
Yeah.
And then you had, what was the one in China? It was
Claude.
DeepSeek.
Oh yeah, deep
So DeepSeek comes out and builds their own AI agent or their own AI engine for $6 million, right? And they put they cost the market $1 trillion in 2 days.
Yeah.
Um,
Instantly.
yeah, but so but the reason why is because no one understood how cheap you could actually do it. Which $6 million sounds expensive to most people, but it ain't.
It ain't
right?
It ain't $500 million.
And so here's the thing right now. I think there's a race right now to build those engines.
Yeah.
Because I think because right now how they're building it is Zuckerberg saying, hey, and Elon saying, hey, scrape the entire internet, all of it. Like, and dude, what's going to happen is that is not going to be allowed forever to scrape the entire internet. They're going to start putting guide rails and things in it. So when that starts to happen, the ability to generate those engines is going to go away. So whoever's able to right now should.
Well, that's why I think just the big dogs are just going to get bigger at this point.
Yeah.
I think we're there because it's like becoming a new is
It
really
depends
tough.
on how they think about it.
Yeah.
So when you look at like, how old are you now?
37.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
ago.
when when you think about like, because I was like 18 to 25 when the internet really started
Talking
coming
about
around.
dial-up instant messenger?
Yes.
56K?
Yeah, bro.
What was your screen name? I touched dicks 37?
No. That was my ghost account, bro. You're not supposed to tell people that.
Age, sex, location.
No, it was free. It was FRIZ44 at AOL. Yeah. And Sal's was Y-Eater5. My dad was like, what the is Y-Eater? And like, work me and Sal are like, so like, dude, so, but like, dude, I think of like what I've seen, right? And I think people with experience are like, a lot of people think, oh, that guy's old. No, like, if you take someone who's had the experience of building something pre-internet, which I did, in the internet, which I did,
yeah.
like, I'm going to be a weapon, bro.
Yeah,
because I know what to ask the motherfucker.
Yep.
And it's, I mean, I get it already.
Yeah,
but the
still,
point, but think about this, though, bro. The big dogs, okay? Yep. So, who's the big dogs? Elon, Bezos,
yeah.
right?
Zuckerberg.
Zuck's a little bit different because of how that came about for him. But if you take Bezos, all Bezos did was take a concept that he was familiar with, commerce,
yep.
of books,
yep.
and evolve it to the internet, and then evolve it from there. All right. And he was the first guy. So he was first at market at that time.
He stuck with it.
And he did it early enough before it was regulated, which is what I'm talking about, them regulating the scrape.
Wild Wild West time.
Yes. So that's what we're in with AI. It's Wild Wild West.
I agree.
So for the first 10, 12 years of Bezos running Amazon, they didn't have to collect sales tax. So what it did was it created a 10%.
I didn't think I realized that.
Huh?
I didn't think I realized that.
Yeah, well, dude, I was in business then. So I was like, what the
Yeah.
Like, these guys can sell shit 10% cheaper than I can, and I'm employing people, right? So, like, I was the victim of that loophole. So I remember it very clearly.
Getting mad at it.
Because their first strategy was to sell cheap. It wasn't convenience, it was cheap. Okay? And then once the tax got put on them, then they went to convenience. So now it's quick. So there was a time there where he was able to jump way ahead because there was a 10% to 12% margin advantage over not having to pay sales tax.
12 years.
So going with that, the biggest advantage that everybody has right now is he had real tax is the classic ignorance tax. Right now, the biggest advantage
or
that
the denial tax.
The denial tax right now is guys. If you just simply use AI, you'll beat your competitors because they're not using it.
Dude,
it's like having a website before people thought it was a website.
It's how you use it.
And how you use it. 100%.
Yeah, like if you're an employee right now, and I am saying this to protect you. I'm not saying this as a threat. If you are an employee of any company right now, because like we could talk about the morality and like I believe in employing human beings.
Yeah.
And how I'm choosing to look at it is, okay, I can make my humans that much more productive.
Yes, hell yeah.
Okay. And then you could scale the company without as many humans.
You're right.
Okay. But you take the same amount, like companies look at it a bunch of different ways. A lot of guys are looking at it and saying, I can get rid of everybody.
Yeah.
But the winners are saying, no, I can take the same amount of people.
Take my 500. Yeah, right.
While going on a hiring freeze.
Yes.
And I think that seems like what the winners will do.
Yeah.
But that is also my fear is what does that hiring freeze do? Because I'm on it. Like,
Yeah.
we'll talk. Like, I'll be real with you guys. Like, I think a couple roles in sales, even though these AI sales
take a sales guy. Take a sales guy, right?
Yep.
A sales guy, if you could take a sales guy who is good.
Yeah.
And he can scale out his ability for output at 30x with the tool. He's worth paying a lot more. And if there's less people and more output, he can make a lot more.
You want to hear something crazy? So I won't say tools.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm going to give you an example of that because it goes both ways, right? So, this is where I think was the biggest thing that sold me on AI. And so we were using this tool. And again, this window is actually still here right now. And it's the rules of AI calling, right? Because there's telemarketing rules, there's robocallers, there's all these things. But there was this tool that lets you do outbound calls, and it was here very early. And I'll never forget, I was like, okay, this is awesome. This is good. We have permission to call all our people, and we have a big ass list of 1 million entrepreneurs. This is going to be great. So I was like, let me just start small.
That's the benefit of being an entrepreneur space.
100%. Yeah. I was like, so let me.
Fuck, our lists are.
This is massive, right? I was like, this is great. So I was like, let me just take really qualified people that we with that opted in for stuff. And I was like, let's just call them with AI. And I just want to see if I can set some appointments. And so I was like, all right, let me just upload, this list of, I think it was like 3,000 people. So I upload it and it calls. And I look at the stats and I refresh. And 6 minutes later, I called 1,000 people at the same time. And my brain broke because I went, and I got all these appointments, right?
Because think about scale. Yeah.
So imagine how long it would take one salesperson to call 1,000 people.
Yeah, but imagine how much more effective that sales force would be with someone running that knows how to sell.
100%.
So
exactly.
So this is what we have to think about it like.
100%.
Yeah, because if you take some tard off the street that doesn't know how to sell shit, you can't do that.
Yeah, if it's a bad script, it's a bad script. You can call 10,000 people. If you can't close, you can't close. Yeah.
And yes, the AI...
It was just crazy how fast it did it. Because it was like, I literally saw a month of work take 3 minutes.
Bro, I think if you're a person right now and you're working inside of a company, here's how you need to look at it.
Yeah.
You need to look at it like, I need to learn this shit so that I can multiply my own output. Not how much time I put into it, how much output I could create.
Facts.
Because that person will be more valuable, 100%. And I really think it's the only way for most people that work in an office to maintain the ability of value.
My marketing team, right? This is happening in real time right now. It used to take us, and we're fast, right?
Yeah.
It used to take we can build an advertisement a day, like a good one, right?
Yeah.
Right now, I think yesterday we did 6 without me. Really good, performing, etc. And that is the team multiplying their output, doing what they do. And so right now, I agree 100%. If you're in a company and you can latch on to this shit, you can do 100 times more than you ever had.
Yeah.
And so I would just go to your employer and make sure that you have a commission-based something. Like if you don't, that's fine, but see if you can add it in. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people don't do is you can just a CEO can come to you and talk to you about pay, you can do the same. So if you find this output thing, I bet you if you can show your worth and what you can do, they'd be willing to pay you more based off your performance.
Gazillion%.
So it's just bring it to the table.
Because, dude, that dynamic never changes.
Yep.
People that produce more are worth more.
100%.
People that produce better are worth more. And so there's an opportunity right now for employees to become that much more productive against the other ones and not only secure their position, but earn more. And I think there's just a way of looking at it. And I think, dude, even as a company, let's take a macro scale, right? And there's a government aspect to this too, because what the government should do, I don't think they will do this because they're too stupid, but what they should do is they should offer a complete tax immunity to companies that employ a certain percentage of people versus how much AI they use.
For sure. They're going to have to.
Yes. So the way that they're going to secure or should secure jobs is to give a tax break to the company and employ actual humans.
Ooh,
and then tax the companies that don't employ.
Yeah. That's good.
So, but that's a macro thing that we're not in control of. Okay. That's what I think should happen. What I really should have happened is people should have never let it out in the public because now a lot of people are fucked.
That's actually a fair reason.
Yeah.
I agree.
But it is what the is. And so we got to look at it for what it is. This is called real AF, not what the should be. So what it is it's natural order. Natural order is always going to win. And so there's going to be companies that say, okay, I'm going to utilize this to optimize and fit, and we're going to grow with it. There's going to be companies that reject it. There's going to be guys who say, no, this is stupid, just like 100%. They did with the internet.
Yep.
Or just like when the car came out and the dudes were saying, what the I got horses, right?
Yeah.
So this happened when the internet came out. I remember all kinds of business people that were like, the internet's not for me. Guess where they are? They're not existent. So,
that's fun. That's what they said. It's not for me.
You remember that?
Yeah.
The internet doesn't apply to my shit. Well, it doesn't. Now you're gone.
Yep.
Okay. And of course there's things that are immune, right? There's right now, there's trades, right? There's HVAC, there's running but dude, there's
it's a window because we know the power of robotics.
3-4 years it's going to be robotics. Yes, but if you could be the guy that figures out how to do it and how to do it faster, you're gonna make a lot of money. So we have the natural order on a macro scale and a micro scale. So we have it on the macro scale with businesses. We got it on the 10,000 foot scale with the government. And then we have the micro scale as individuals. And for businesses, what's going to happen is the same thing that always happens. You're going to have people who adopt it and work with it and figure out how to produce the best possible outcome for their customers and their employees. You're going to have people who decide that it's not for them. And then you're going to have the little guy who's just getting started, who doesn't know shit about business. And his opportunity is going to come from the companies that say this isn't going to work.
100%.
So you're going to have a trade. These companies are going to fall. These young bucks who learn how to do it are going to move in.
Yeah.
And we're going to have sort of an involvement, right? And adaptation over the long haul is the key to lifetime success.
Which actually scares me about what you said, specifically the government. And I want everybody to think about this. One, like, so this shit, like I teach a 16-week course, right? And every single 16 weeks, I have to change the whole curriculum because it's moving so fast.
Yeah.
And I worry about the government because everybody knows how long the government takes to do anything. I also worry about even your traditional colleges because how long does it take for them? Like how many of you went to school and you bought a used book because the 3 years later they were still you doing the same.
And education's done, bro.
Oh my God. It's so bad. But
dude, they're teaching AI engineer courses. They're teaching at college. All right, look. This is how stupid this is. They are teaching people for a 6-month course for thousands of dollars. Like go into debt shit on how to be an AI prompt engineer. When all you got to do is ask them what prompt it is.
So, and that was a fast response that is now outdated.
Yes.
These are the same people, y'all, by the way, and this is what something you can relate to, that when you go to the DMV, they take 6 months to send you your registration.
Bro.
Something that should be done. It's so fucked.
College, next real estate opportunity is going to be the college campuses because they're going to be empty.
Turning them into lofts.
Yeah, that's right. Historic lofts.
Yep.
For real, bro. Yeah. But like, dude,
are you saying Harvard, bro?
Dude,
cool.
it's exciting.
Pool over there in Boston.
It's exciting if you're willing to adapt.
Yes.
If you're not willing to adapt, you're going to lose, and it's going to be a very hard fall. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And
you can't be our parents, and our parents are this. You know, and shout out to all our parents, especially mine. But you guys have probably all gotten that call from your parents where they ask you to change the input on their TV.
Yeah.
And they just need to press a button, but they don't want to learn it. They're just like, just do it for me.
TV's
right?
broken.
TV's broken.
I was at
that cannot happen.
Billy.
People
I was
cannot.
that motherfucker fucking 6 months ago.
Yeah, that's good.
Was I not?
Who put the foot in your ass?
No, listen, it wasn't that I got the foot put in my ass. It's that I met some very interesting people. Okay. I met my friend Devin, who is a very smart man. He's young. He's very smart. He's very calm. He's been on the podcast.
Nice.
Really good dude. And just listening to him calmly sort of like
walk you through it.
Yeah. And then like I was like, fuck. And he's doing, I mean, he's crushing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right. Well, then I downloaded the app, and I did what everybody does. I'm like, take this picture of my dog and make it a Lego. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's cool.
And I was like, holy dude. And then I started like having it teach, because dude, I am a gluttonous learner.
Yeah.
Like I love input.
Yeah.
I love it.
Pause.
And it's so hard for me to find the time to read. Okay, because and I still do because I enjoy it, but it's hard. I have to force myself. That's part of the program.
Yeah.
So I tested out. I said, all right, like books I've read multiple times. Like there's a book called The Purple Cow by Seth Godin. I've read it
classic.
1,000 times. Yeah. So I know the book. I'm like, hey, summarize this book for me. Okay.
How good was it?
It's right on, bro. And
so
I'm like,
fast,
then I'm like, if you come to my house, I have thousands of books. Okay. And I buy books that I want to read, but then I can't find the time to read them.
Yeah.
So I started reading 3-4 books a night. Okay. So I'm summarizing and getting the gist of these 3 or 4 books every night.
Yeah.
Which would take me now I'm like, And I start thinking of like, okay.
So the meta shades, this is where it's cool.
Yeah.
They show this in their newest demo. So the meta shades, everybody's like, you guys see I'm wearing glasses. Just imagine I can press a button and it can record, and then AI can see everything that I see, right? So, then one of the newer demos, there's two really cool tools that everyone should play with. And the newer the demos is somebody looks by a bookshelf and then says, hey, remind me what book was over there in the purple? And it like capture it right there.
Yeah.
Now going to what you said, can you summarize that for me in a couple of bullets while you're walking and listening, because it's your eyes. That is going to be the most, when like the mass adoption happens, it's going to be because of these glasses.
Yeah. But
And
also, dude,
I
I think people, I don't think we're taught, look, man, there's going to be a balance that occurs between the human experience and technology always. And for example, like, when retail started getting hit with the internet, there was a bunch of retail people. I'm talking 15 years ago. People would be like, "Oh, internet's killing me, bro." My retail company has continued to dominate, because we create community and good experiences, and human behavior craves that.
Yep.
So you have to think about like, okay, well, how is it going to work in that environment? And in that environment, it would be a situation, let's say any technical environment, like an auto parts store or a vitamin store, right? Yeah. You're going to be able to answer questions about shit that you don't really know, because our biggest rub in what we do is the knowledge, right? You have to learn the technical knowledge.
All your employees are going to have meta shades.
And not only that, they're going to have earpiece in their ear that hears what the you're saying, tells them what to tell.
So why that I tell people, this is I'm gonna sound crazy, but like it
or
does
a
it,
pendant, like fucking Star Trek.
Oh, it's so they have that, and then also it's these glasses. So especially like speaking languages, no one's ever going to need to learn another language again, because when you have your glasses on, it'll translate in real time.
Bro, they are that's already out now.
It's like it was on Google Translate, but it's in the meta shades. Like it's just like people
if you have an accompanying earpiece, it's going to tell you what to say.
100% sells like everything. It's the goal is going to be to like, it's going to be weird. So right now people value therapy, right? And going to see a therapist.
Yeah, that's done.
It's going to be weird when someone tells you they talk to a human. They're going to say, why would you ask a human? They get emotional. They get tired. If they're in a bad mood,
they have alternative motives.
They have alternative motives. They've only read 20 books versus.
It's not only that, dude.
Leveraging every book ever written.
Bro, check this shit out. So I asked it. I said, because I want to know how it learns. And I'm like, so how do you learn? And they're like, it's telling me, it's like, well, just like you learn, except think of everything you've ever known and all of a sudden you know it, right? and so I'm like, okay, so, and this is what I'm getting at with the regulation, right? There's only going to be a window to build these engines that exist temporarily.
Yep.
And the people that build them are going to, and there's a barrier because it's millions of dollars. But right now, like what they've done at Meta and like, bro, they just stole everybody's shit.
Yeah.
Like straight up. That's not going to be allowed to happen forever. So we're going to have this situation, like you said, where big dogs and some little smart guys are going to get real big.
Yeah.
And when we look at, like, I asked this thing, I said, dude, because like, dude, how many speeches have you given on success?
Couldn't count.
Thousands, right? Me too. Well, and it's something I'm very interested in, like the human, and dude, I don't think that's ever it's not gonna go away, man, because it's just natural. Like there's gonna be people that want to rise to the top, and there's gonna be people that don't give a fuck. And the people that don't give a fuck are gonna go all the way down, and the people that want to go, they're gonna go higher. And the people with experience and knowledge and IQ, they're gonna go higher than that.
Yes.
So I think it's just a reorganization of the natural order in a different way. That's how I see it. And I think there's morality questions to ask,
for sure.
Such as like, what do we do with people that want jobs? Well, it's the same answer. Like people that want jobs are going to have to learn certain skills, and they're going to have to be good with them. Yeah. Right. But dude, how it learned was so fucking interesting to me, because it was like. I said, what it said to me was, how many biographies have you read? And I said, I don't know, probably 30, in my life. I don't read, I read more technical how to, not like, and it said, well, I've read them all. And I'm like, what do you mean you've read them all? And they're like, I've read them all. And I'm like, all of them. And he's like, yes, all of them. And I said, so if I asked you what was the 5 most common traits amongst successful people versus the 5 most common traits amongst people who lose, you would be telling me based on that knowledge, not guessing.
Yeah.
And then it listed them out. And then
it was right on.
And then, and then I said, well, rank them in order of importance. Ooh. And then it did that. So like, dude, now you're dealing with, you're not dealing with speculation. You're dealing with actual data of what qualities you have to be successful, which, by the way, just so we're clear, it's all the shit we teach. But it's something we didn't know.
We're not off.
No. But it was cool because it's not just your opinion. It's literal.
There's a cool tool that will be helpful for everybody, especially if you're super not techie. And Gemini just lost it. So Gemini is Google's AI. It's called, what the f is it called, Paul? The Genius or Gemini Live Studio Stream. And what it does is essentially, imagine you're on a website and you have no idea how to use it, like Adobe Photoshop or, some of these hard tools, right? You never use. It will talk you through it in real time.
Yeah.
So you can literally go to any website under the sun, and if you don't know how to use it, it can literally just talk through it and it will walk you through and guide you. It's like having an assistant in your ear that can see what you see, and anytime you're on a site, it will walk you through it. So anybody who's super afraid of tech and you want to try some of these tools, literally just pull that up, go through it, and it will. It's like,
I can tell you this, dude. Yeah. I'm the most tech averse person probably for the last 20 years, and I've outsourced all of I've depended on a lot of people, bro.
Yeah.
And I'll just give you just as a real example. I have a guy who's working on a project for me, and before I say this, it's not my guys working on the app that I have. It's another guy working on a different project, because these guys are going to hear this and be like, what the f-? But it's not you guys that are on my internal team, but I was outsourcing some coding, and I had a guy who was slow, and I was on the phone with him, and I was telling him like, hey man, I need this done now. And he's like, oh, this is going to take blah, 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 blah,
it's
blah.
the worst working with creative developers.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Because they leverage you.
Yep.
They leverage you on what you don't know.
Yep. And you can't do anything about it.
Well, now you can.
Now you can. But you haven't been able to for years. Yeah.
So I went into my app and I said, all right, this is what I'm doing. This is what I need. And in fucking like 10 minutes, I had the code. So I took the code and I sent it to the guy.
And what did he say?
Picks up the phone right away, calls me. And he's like, what the blah, 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 blah. and then you know what he said? I'll have it done by Friday.
Yeah, of course. All of a sudden,
you see?
Oh, you can have it done now? Oh, yes. Really? The thing that was impossible, you can do now?
So I think there's a lot of good and a lot of gray area and a lot of bad, just like there is with everything. And I think people are smart enough I think there's a large amount of people that are going to still want they're going to want a human interface. Yeah. So you could run your AI on the back end, but your human is going to do the interfacing because we have natural human connection. I think there's going to be a lot of people, like you said, who want to live in that world.
Yeah.
But those people are already living in that world.
Facts.
So I don't know that it's going to be as disruptive as we think it is. I think there's a lot of uncertainty, which creates a lot of fear. But the more I learn about it and the more I think of it, I think it's just going to amplify what's already happening. The ambitious are going to become more ambitious. The winners are going to win bigger. People that are small are going to be able to win because the people who don't adopt the tech are going to fall off. So it's just a reorganization of...
And like always, but even now, exclamation point is community in your business model is bigger than ever.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you have to...
It's bigger than ever.
Yes. I mean, like it's...
And that's the only way you can protect your tool, too. If you're going to invest into a lot of money, tool, et cetera, what's going to... Your brand, everything, community...
Well, dude, and also like...
Protector.
Like who it's really going to hurt, dude, is people that don't deal with some sort of actual product. Like I'm talking about a physical product. Like if you're manufacturing a product that people buy and you're doing well with it and you're halfway intelligent, the demand's going to be there.
For sure.
If you are someone who is leveraging your quote unquote expertise and education, like lawyers like to say, well, I went to school for X years to learn this shit. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
doesn't fucking matter.
No, Chat GPT just wrote this motion for me.
Doesn't and not only
just check it.
That idea, like the thing these lawyers do, where they fucking I got a client and then you got a client and we know each other and we go play golf, figure out how to milk them for all their money. It's over.
Yeah,
like that shit is over. And So is like holding code hostage. That's over. So is holding designs hostage. That's over. So it's just going to change. It's going to be based off of fucking output. And if you're someone right now who has a career or a job and you want to be secure in that, you need to learn the tools to leverage your skill set to be more productive, and that's it.
Yeah.
And this is
to give a tangible example of that, right? So I made a joke earlier. I was like, well, therapists, what are you going to need them for? But obviously, you can create your own custom GPT, teach it everything that you know, and then you can just sell your people an app that they can continuously talk with you 24/7 when they're not available to actually meet with you in person.
Yeah.
And so now you've multiplied yourself and have a sexier offer because you offer 24/7 support when the other person's once a week, and you can bundle that and it'll take you no time at all, and the other players aren't going to do it. Yeah. So there's so many little micro wins like this that people can implement to get a massive edge. And you said it's just like, if you want it, it's there. It's never been easier. Ever. It's never been easier to start a business. It's never been more affordable. All this shit is free. Like almost everything we're talking about, it costs nothing. There's no excuse, and it's fast. It takes no time, but you got to be willing to learn. The learners are going to come up big as long as you implement what you learn.
But like, let's take a space that you and I are familiar with, like the entrepreneur coaching.
Yep.
Right. If you don't have a track record, it's over for you. It's fucking over. Like if you don't have results to show people, for real. And I'm not talking about a nice car. I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about fronting on the internet so that you could.
The bullshit.
That's over. It's over.
That's good.
I know. That's a great thing. Yeah. So that shit's over. And maybe not today, but within the next year.
Yeah.
Okay. And if we're being ultra conservative, 2 years.
Yeah.
It's over. But for people with real companies, tremendous opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like tremendous.
Yeah.
For people with ambition, tremendous opportunity.
Yeah.
But the low-hanging fruit, that shit's over. You're going to have to be good. You're going to have to be good at what you do.
Yeah.
So I think if you're good at what you do and there's no scam shit, you're going to be fine. In fact, you're going to make way more money. But
I agree with
that. But if you're a gray area, try to hustle and cheat, that you're done. It's over. Like you just don't even know it yet.
I just really hope that as this happens, because it is one of those things that the winners will win, the losers will lose. But I think for America to keep going as is and growing, we need the losers to win too.
Well, dude,
to be the
no, bro, listen. That's why. Listen. That's why the depopulation agenda exists, because they are trying to remove the world of the what they deem the useless people. That's what they're trying to do. That's why they're run. I mean, Gates has said it, dude. Like these people talk openly about it. There's books about it. Like this, they're trying to eliminate in any way. I think they're going to try to eliminate people that don't produce value. And I mean, by eliminate, I mean kill. I mean, remove them from the world.
Ooh,
and
that's a heavy statement.
It's not his statement.
They're doing it. Yeah, they say it openly, bro. The World Economic Forum. I mean, they wrote books about this shit. So like, it's going to be, I think, a very weird time. And then, like whoever controls the AI, like it's going to be Elon. He controls and he's building the robots already. He already has the Optimus robots.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever controls that's going to control the world. That's just real shit. Like, and dude, if these things do, it's kind of hard to think that they won't become self-aware after using them. You know what I'm saying?
It's like
they it pouts, bro. Like if you yell at it, it pouts.
It's the problem is it's whatever you train it to be, and someone's going to train it to be just.
I yell at the mother, bro. Like when it up, I bring up the microphone and I'm like, "What the are you?" And like, and then it'll say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I was lazy." I said, I don't want to hear that shit, man. You're a robot. I told you what to do. You're supposed to do it, and it'll pout like dude. It has like, and I know it's programmed, but it has emotions.
Well, it's like it's bad people will do bad things, and there will be people who train robots. I mean, the scariest part, not to go on a whole thing, is that we're talking like future weapons. Like the scariest part is that when somebody decides to use AI literally right now and make a drone attack because they can go to Best Buy, clear out all the drones, et cetera, right now, and then program. Like this is a thing right now.
Yeah, and then how do you find out who did it?
That's what I'm saying. It's really hard. It's happening too fast. So from a defense, and also to even the idea of like, you know, when we grow up, you know, you have beef with somebody, maybe you fight them, right? Like that's it. Like even like war.
Nah, bro. These motherfuckers are going to make robots that they.
that's
They are.
Pocket pussies have been a thing.
I know.
Now it's gonna.
I'm being serious.
Back to you.
These dudes, like we're sitting here saying, oh, we live in the fake world. They're not going to live in the computer. They're going to bring the computer out here
for sure,
and they're going to create a robot. You mark my words, bro. It will be one of the most biggest products ever in the history of products. It will be female and male robots that you design, that you.
Yep. Says all the right things.
Yes.
Gives you all the compliments. No talking back. Like it's like, so the loneliness may be solved by a robot, which is another scary thing.
Yeah. It's, dude.
I've seen it, bro. I've seen that robot, bro. I ain't.
Well, anyway,
it is interesting on this topic though. So I got something for you guys on the spirit of AI. You know, we have an intro song for the show.
Okay.
I got 3 possible redesigns for you.
All right, let's go.
And so let's just play them and see what we vote on.
All right.
So
I like that.
This first one, this is Andiman.
Andiman.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
You were stabbed in the face, but never no sight from broken to building empires like first form and S2. No fluff, no filters, just discipline, grit, and the truth. They don't want you to hear. He's got scars, dogs, and Rolls Royce, and a mission to make you great.
Andiman like to party.
There's one.
That's not bad.
Okay.
That's not bad. All right. Now we do have a lot of Hispanic listeners.
Yeah.
With
We got a little salsa.
We got El Andio.
El Andio.
Il voto vulnerado test, se non me visione ma mi Abe gesta te fluina adipenia solurinda si culturas formes la Nula levitas, nula elarva et disciplina constantia et veritas qua maudire nodum cicatrices habet canes rozvois et missione multe magnificum redat hoc est via cumendi Frisella.
You need to use that outro no matter what version you choose. That has to hit every time. The outro needs to come.
Yeah. And then finally, you know, we're Missourians, right? Good old boys here.
Yeah.
Country Andy stabbed on the back road.
He was stabbed in the face, but never lost sight from broken to building empires like First Farm and S2. No fluff, no filters, just discipline, grit, and the truth they don't want you to hear. He's got scars, dogs, a Rolls Royce, and a mission to make you great. This is real F with Andy Frisella.
Frisella. I like Andiman.
Hey,
Stagecoach. That was sick.
Look, I got to go Country Andy because if I went to Stagecoach, so I'm official now.
Yeah. You did, bro. Yeah. You killed it with your outfits, too.
I got my white boy on.
Yeah, you did.
I was out there.
Yeah.
I did.
Bro, those outfits were awesome, dude.
It was fun embodying the country spirit. I had a good time.
Bro, it's high right now, man.
Yeah, it was cool.
Listen, there ain't nothing better than country music concerts. You get the right kind of mix, bro.
It was good. It was cool.
Country music's for everybody.
Especially country music when Nelly came.
Yeah.
Country grammar, bro.
Yeah.
Country grammar.
Wait, okay. So did you make those songs with AI?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's all AI.
Yeah.
There you guys go.
Beats and everything.
You guys
so we
want to
don't
make
even
some
have to worry
bangers?
about copyright protection.
Well, me and Joe are going to create a fucking rap
It's a
album.
free one you guys can make songs with.
Me and Joe are going to make a rap album. He's already has 3 fucking platinum records.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Producing rap songs.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're going to make You want to be in on it?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Yeah. Why not?
Well, we got to have some black in there, bro, because otherwise it's not rap.
We got 2 here today, so we're good. We doubled up.
All right.
We're double digging.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it, yeah.
What are we going to call it? The fucking Oreo?
Yeah.
Oreos. Yeah. I'm in. Yeah,
I'm in the middle.
Come on.
Well, guys, that's the AI combo.
We call it the ice cream sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That actually sounds
Everybody
fire.
likes ice cream sandwiches.
I like ice cream.
Oh, wait, I have a
sandwiches.
question for you.
Yeah.
So, this is a real question. going back 7-5 hard for a second.
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot?
I'll put everybody on the spot.
Yeah, I know.
Look, here's the thing. I love 75 hard. I think it's life-changing, everybody. But make no mistake about it. I love to fucking
Eat,
drink, party, bullshit,
Yeah.
and fucking eat. Like I love it. Like I have fun. I love going to the party. I love, going with all the homies and
Yeah.
shutting down the bar and
There's nothing
buying
wrong with
shit
that.
for everybody. I love it.
Yeah.
So
the difference is
okay, go ahead.
now you could turn it off when you want to. That's the difference.
Okay. I was
There's
gonna say,
nothing wrong.
Okay. All
Listen.
right, I'll take that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with fucking drinking or whatever the you want to do. Like, don't take this as like I went to the sober side. Like, fuck, bro. Like, I love to drink and I love to smoke weed and I love to have a good time.
Okay.
But like, it doesn't control me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And by the way, we were both fat. And you too. You were a lot fatter too.
Fatter than I am now.
And so, dude, but the difference is when you can control your environment versus your environment controlling you. Because, like, dude, that's how you get fat. Is
Yeah.
because it's just
It
like
gets out of control.
All right, one more day. I'll start Monday. Now, when you say I'll start Monday, you start.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
It's a
right.
different
Okay.
thing.
All right. Well, that was where I was going. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's
You know.
that's. I mean, there's nothing wrong with. You got to live.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's Western culture, man.
Yeah.
It's part of it.
That's all there is to do here is drink.
I've learned that.
Yeah.
St. Louis, been there for 24 hours. Facts.
Yeah. It's not bad though.
Yeah,
It's fun.
It's cool. Like I said, everybody is hella cool. They're just
Yeah.
like, stay away from downtown. You'll be good.
That's a fact.
They
Yeah.
just said us.
Well,
Is
yeah,
it worse
man.
than San Diego's downtown? Is it like,
Oh, bro, you're in the murder capital of the world, right? Or the
That is
country
Chi-Town.
right now.
Yeah. No.
it's like that?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, it's like that.
St. Louis
They were saying 15-year-olds with AKs and stuff.
per capita is murder capital of the United States.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, you in the shit right now, bro.
Wow.
I mean, we're safe right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, St. Louis is hot, bro.
Yeah.
It's hot. But like that's what I was
It's
telling
time for me
you.
to go
It's the
home.
biggest crazy thing because
Dude,
like,
you know what though,
our
dude?
community
Honestly,
is great.
if
Like,
you don't,
got great people here.
dude, it's you know what?
I
It's
agree
like
with
we're talking about with AI.
Yeah.
It's polar. There's
Yeah.
polarity.
Dude, there's great people here, man.
And by the way, like, dude, really in St. Louis, man, like for the truth of the matter is if you don't around, you won't around. That's
Yeah,
right,
you
bro.
won't find out. You
Like,
won't find out.
if you mind your business and you're cool, even the criminals are cool if you're cool.
Yeah.
But the minute you step on a
You test
toe,
somebody, it's a wrap.
that's a problem.
I will say this is interesting about St. Louis too. So obviously, I live in San Diego. Here, it did feel very, obviously not in this room, but it felt very segregated.
Yeah.
I was like, it was weird to do because I'm in San Diego, SoCal, California,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
It was like it was wild how like I looked over and was like, there's white people, there's black people.
Yeah.
Like even when we went to the restaurant last night, it was like I was the only black person there, and I don't know if it was just where
You're
we
black?
were, but I was like, this is crazy. But it did feel like it was old
we
school
don't-
in
we-
that sense.
Yeah, we don't say segregated, we say safe.
So, dude, dude,
say safe. You know
yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. Like, dude,
Wait, so is it a thing? Is that like a thing?
you know,
or is
the
that
Mike
just-
Brown shit here started here. Okay, so like when Obama was in office and that Mike Brown shit happened, he really stoked the racial shit, and it's become a racial hotbed.
Yeah.
I think if we're being honest, like interpersonal communications and like in real life are not.
It's
bad.
not like that.
Yeah,
not
it's
a
just
racist place.
on the internet, it starts to get amplified. Just like, bro, it's like
Yeah, propaganda.
Yeah, and we end up with these hot, dude. It's just what the truth is. It's f***ing low IQ shit. Okay, like if you're that concerned about race, you're a dumb motherfucker.
Yeah.
Okay, like we're all the same. We all come from the same place. Like
We're all getting
yeah. Like that's the point. They want the racial division so they can us with the government. And like, bro, I don't think St. Louis really is that way.
Yeah, like everybody's been hella cool, like all
Yeah.
conversations, etc. I was just like, visually, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I think the nature. So I don't think that's a black or white thing. I think it's the nature of people here. They're very friendly, but they're also very skeptical at first. Missouri's called the show me state.
Yeah.
And so
You show me 7, I'll show you 8.
yeah, that's right.
Nelly, come on.
Once you break that like if you were to like like as a white dude, like if I, let's say there's a table full of black people there, and if I were to walk over there and say, hi, they're nicest people in the world, vice versa. But everybody's sort of like,
got it.
There's a little bit of like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know you.
Show me you're cool.
Show me you're cool.
Yeah. Show me you're cool, man.
And I mean, look, propaganda, whether you believe it or not, it impacts.
It
right?
fucking works.
It works.
That's why it's a real thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's real, man. Wow. Well, yeah, man, let's get to some more headlines. That was the first convo.
I mean, we could sit at the same table and shit if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. Today, can I use the bathroom? Is there a different one?
Yeah. We do go through the back.
Yeah.
Not because of the road. It's for security, all right?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, dude.
But yeah, let's get to some more topics, man. The AI convo was great. Let's get to some more headlines. With this is CTI. Before we get to some more headlines, let's go cruise some comments. Because we do got some
cruising comments sounds like a blast.
The comments, yeah, we got a couple of them. This was from the last episode. ZB Lewd Lust 87 made it a whole 4 minutes before the first curse.
And who lost?
It was me.
Yeah, it was.
I tried.
Wait, was that a bet?
Well,
who's gonna curse first?
It was sort of an unspoken bet. Mm-hmm. So DJ said, "All right, so look, Madat is trying to tell us not to curse as much because it f***s our YouTube shit up."
Yeah.
True.
Okay. Yeah. So
don't say.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't do that.
Got it.
So
noted.
So Madat's been on DJ. Well, Madat and Joe have sort of been on us to be a little cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Gotcha.
And so
and ZB Lust is saying you guys suck.
We made it 4 minutes.
Yeah, we made it 4 minutes without a curse.
Wasn't that the lowest amount of cursing that we've had, Joe? Because we track it, right? Was it pretty low? Oh, really? Where were we at? Like 100? 110? What's a high? 300?
Sounds like beats per minute.
450?
450? What were you talking
about? Dang. That's one of them shows where I get pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. All right. Yeah. 4 minutes. So we got a new PR.
Now, who would have bet that you would be the one to lose that? Not me?
Yeah. I know that was out of left field for me. Yeah, it's wild. Andy made another post last night. You see, Andy's back on the gram.
No, I know. What'd you post? Like
Instagram?
actual post, not story.
Shit! I've made 2 now this year.
Yeah, number 2.
What is it? What was it?
Yeah, so I mean, it was a
carousel.
Carousel. It was nice.
Multiple
we got
photos.
some comments from that. Peter Howarder, bro's actually a poet.
That's correct.
That actually is. Yeah, that is correct.
You are poetic in a way.
Yeah.
Well, you know the I like to write.
Yeah.
You ever done spoken word?
No, but I think I would do good at it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Have you done it?
Nah.
Yeah, you'd be good at it too, though.
Yeah, we do some shit together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
Erykah Badu night.
You did have you had an interesting comment on there though.
Oh yeah.
From the Brandon Longo. Hey Andy, you probably don't recognize me, but you're my father. I've spent the last 23 years searching for you.
Yeah, I said if you were my son, it wouldn't have taken you 23 years to find me. Your IQ would be a little higher than that, bro.
You would have gotten me faster.
Good
That's
Lord,
good,
man.
I don't even see the resemblance. That's Maury. That's you are not the father.
Pappy,
yeah, the results. You're not the father.
I am not the father.
No, I can't give you that one. Nah,
dude, people are wild, man.
That reply is great.
Yeah.
That's a
well, hey, man,
that is my favorite thing to do is just troll comments and say wild shit.
Yeah.
When you're free, you can.
Oh my god, that's his whole life.
Yeah, that's me.
Dude,
I love it.
This dude starts more shit on the internet than anybody. Like he will just straight up go in and disagree for no reason, just to get people riled up.
But you know what's funny is people don't understand. Like I didn't become an entrepreneur to make money. I became an entrepreneur to tell somebody to fuck off when they do some dumb shit and not have worry. Like,
that's one of my favorite things about you as a person. Just real talk.
Oh, thank you.
Like I really appreciate authentic people who aren't fake authentic. And what I mean by fake authentic, contrarian people who are just like, oh, fuck you, I disagree just for that.
Just because,
right? Yeah. You will always say, I disagree or I agree.
100%.
And like it's real. And like, dude, it's one of my favorite things about you.
Oh, appreciate that. Yeah.
Oh, that was cool though, man. Guys, we do appreciate you for being real ass fans. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification on the YouTube to stay up to date.
He just does it for fun. Like to get people riled up, bro.
It is fun.
I pissed a lot of people off.
And then he hits me. He'll hit me with the screenshots. He'll be like, "Look at this! Look what I told this motherfucker."
I still go classic with your mom. If someone says something like, I just go. I just hit him with your mom.
I had this dude the other day. Let me see, because I put it on my story too. What did I say?
The skier guy?
Yeah, the ski guy. Yeah, because he called me Uncle Tom.
Oh.
Right? And so I looked at his profile quickly. I'm like, so I commented back to him. I said, gotta be a white dude saying that. I can tell from the profile pic because he had a picture.
What was it?
He was skiing. And I said, niggas don't ski, Phil. Yeah, but then I posted a video. I do ski. I skied once.
Yeah,
so like, I ski,
too.
but like by and large, niggas don't ski. You know what I'm saying? And, but yeah, no, I do like, I troll a little bit.
You got to.
Somebody,
man.
one of the listeners found me in a random ass reel talking shit. It's like, dude, I found you in the wild. This is amazing. Yeah, I like it, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's people realize they're used to like CEOs not saying shit back. So they realize that when you punch back, a lot of them shut up. Like I've had people comment back and they're like, I was just kidding. I love you. Da, 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 da. I'm like,
the best is when you go in your DMs and someone talks mad shit and then you go on their DM, you go in your DMs to them to you. And it's 50,000.
2015.
Yeah. I love you, bro. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Fuck you.
It's Stan. It's classic
Yeah.
Stan.
Yeah, dude. And then like they're like, oh, I was just seeing if I get your attention. Like, you got it, bitch. Block.
Right,
yeah.
right.
For
Oh
sure.
no.
I also find great joy in deleting their comments. Because they're
They
like,
get mad.
I love to delete a comment because they're like, what? You can't, what do you mean? You're on my post.
Yeah.
Like,
bro,
especially when it's long and they took a long time to think. God, I love that. Oh, that took you a long time.
That's so annoying, bro. It's so good.
And I don't block them so they can comment. I want them to see it. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's a good. I'm gonna start doing that
It's
shit.
the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Bro, my favorite, and they write a long paragraph. I just be like, I ain't reading all of that. I'll talk bad shit. I ain't reading all of that. I ain't reading all of that.
Bro, the internet dynamic is a lot of fun if you don't take it too serious.
For sure.
Yeah,
You gotta
it is,
laugh at it, man.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
gotta
think that's a
laugh
big
at it.
problem. I think a lot of people don't utilize the internet because they're scared. Just don't give a f.
Yeah.
Fuck
And the
them.
way you don't give a is because they don't know you.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to get offended at anything says because you don't actually know me. Only people get offend me as like friends, right? Like a friend doing someone knows. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
No,
Use
that-
AI,
And you know
get
what?
rich.
I always
the
think
shit
it's
you're
fun.
talking, if you were in front of me right now, you would not say any of it.
Bro, not only that too. It's like, for me, it's like, and this is going to sound arrogant. I don't care because it's the truth. But it's like, look at your life and look at my life.
We wouldn't trade places.
Yeah. And what the f do you have? How are you giving me an opinion of what I should do when your life looks like that? Eat a f dick, bro.
Yeah, Phil.
Multiple.
Yeah.
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 Phil.
You coming for Phil?
Yeah. Fuck Phil.
Yeah.
He's skiing. He can't hear you.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, let's keep the cruise moving. We got headline number 2. Let's get into this one real quick.
Well, headline number 1 was the AI. All right. So we just skipped over the real one because we just went for too long. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. That was a good conversation.
Adaptation. No, it was actually the intro. So I mean,
Oh,
it
was
actually
it?
worked
Yeah,
out
you
perfect.
lying now?
No.
Are you
It's
sure?
here. It's here.
My dad said you're lying.
Snitch. Snitching in the workplace.
Zishan, is he lying? Is he lying? Yeah, see, we don't tell on each other.
All right, we can do headline
go.
1. Let's do headline 1.
No, let's just go to 2.
Headline number 2.
That's me and DJ. That's me and DJ.
Did you guys make this with AI?
That's a Z.
No,
No,
this is all Madad. This human.
Yeah, Madad makes
research.
Did you make it with AI?
no. These guys are
Gotcha.
talented, bro.
For sure.
That's Zishan's 7-Eleven. He opened the first one on the moon.
Shut the
Tell him
fuck
about it.
Look, it's got the first farm ads in
Yeah,
there and
see?
everything, bro.
Pumpkin spice.
Yeah. Tell him what do we say when we leave? Oh, shit.
Fuck, man. All right, headline number 2. Let's get into it. FBI.
I just noticed that the Slurpee was grape.
You just noticed that?
It must
Purple
be
drink. Purple drink. That's DJ's.
That's DJ's for sure.
Wrong hand. Yeah.
I'm reaching for it, bro. I'm trying to get it. Yeah. All right. Let's get into headline number 2. FBI. All right. So there's some interesting things happening.
Right.
And this leads to more of what's happening, I guess, in the world. I think it'd be a good convo. So Kash Patel, we'll start with this. Kash Patel completely annihilates low IQ Senator Patty Murray after she foolishly accuses him of weaponizing and politicizing the FBI. So they brought the FBI in for a Senate hearing. All right. And it was on a bunch of different things. A lot of things got brought up. But this was kind of like, it started off with this Senator Patty Murray. Here's a clip. Check it out.
gang cases, 3,000 cases against violent
well,
criminals
that's not
doing
my
the
question.
work.
We know that you...
Well, you asked if I was weaponizing the FBI, and I am not. I'm giving you the hard, concrete examples of the men and women putting handcuffs on bad people, doing harm to our children and innocent Americans. I do not see weaponization.
You have placed on leave FBI employees responsible for the investigation of January 6th. That sounds political to me.
I have not placed anyone on leave who has not violated their ethical obligation or their oath to the Constitution.
So if they were investigating January 6th, you believe they were violating an ethical obligation?
Nope. I think the common theme here is you putting words in my mouth, and I'm not going to tolerate it, nor will the men and women of the FBI.
Well, you did place on leave an analyst responsible for investigating Russia's meddling in the 2016 election. Is that politicization? Is that retribution?
No, not if she broke the law or the ethical guidelines. I don't know which case you're talking about, but that's the standard. And we will hold ourselves inwardly accountable. And we will not be strayed from our mission because people think we are politicizing the Bureau. If you want to talk about someone who was attacked by a weaponized Bureau, you're looking at him. And now he's the director of the FBI and he's cleaning it up.
Well, I would just say to everyone who's listening that the FBI needs to be focused on its mission to keep the entire country safe. It should not be weaponized for partisan political gain. Thank you,
We are.
Chairman.
Senator Kennedy.
You might have 9 inches under there.
Yeah.
Dude, he's swinging.
Yeah. Well, look, man. I mean, you know, these. I mean, it is a known fact that they literally made up the Russia influence with Crossfire Hurricane and the Steele dossier. Hillary Clinton had to make it. It's a proven fact. And now she's sitting here acting like it's still fact.
My thing, who is? I've never even heard of this lady.
Well,
that's what I don't know. Like, who are all these? Like, there's a lot of new faces and people getting these seats.
Shit, that's another thing we didn't talk about. It's like AI running the government.
Now I believe in that. That I knew. I don't know much about politics, so you guys got to educate me.
Yeah.
So I can.
Well, basically, what she
I'm
said.
an AI nerd.
Basically, so Kash Patel has been legit targeted from the FBI under the Biden administration for the last 4 years. Attacked, harassed, said that he was a traitor, put on the domestic terror list, and now the head of the FBI.
Oh,
so,
that's what he was referring to.
Yeah, that's what he's referring
like,
to.
Hey, bitch. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So
the thing you're accusing me, I
these
was
people,
actually, yeah.
And then, so like, dude, there's been all kinds of data that's come out, like factual data that doesn't make it into the media that has shown that this, Russia interfered in the election in 2016 was a total lie. Hillary Clinton paid her campaign team. This is all fact.
Yeah.
Her campaign team to contact this dude, Christopher Steele, who made up the Steele dossier, which was completely fabricated shit. Okay. And this is like open knowledge. This isn't like.
So, yeah, let me ask that again in my ignorance, getting up to speed with all this. So I always go and would like to know, because you'll have both sides say, well, this is a fact. And then the other side says, well, this is a fact.
Yeah.
How do you know your fact is more facting than their
Well,
fact?
that's a good question
You know what I mean?
at this point in time. I mean, because now we're dealing with a complete propaganda machine, which has no truth. But there has been traced back. The money was traced back that they can't explain payments from this place to that place.
So
She was also
forensic
fined.
accounting there.
Hillary Clinton's campaign got fined.
She got fined. Yeah, she was found.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was found guilt. They fined her $200.
Liable, whatever the case
$200, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was cheap.
$200 fine.
Yeah.
And so for 8 years, they ran, regardless of what you think of Trump, because I know you're not a fan, but
Well, I like some things about Trump.
You must have grown, because I know you used to hate him.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go there.
All right.
Real as
Yeah.
So here's how I feel about Trump.
It's okay if you hate him. I don't give a fuck.
Yours both.
Yeah.
Is number one, that what we just saw in the video of straight talk, I'm always a fan of.
Yeah.
Meaning, stop the like passive aggressive or the leading questions. Like, I love when you see on any kind of media where someone just actually says how they feel. I think that's the healthiest thing ever. That is what I love about Trump.
Yeah.
Hate him, love him, grab him by the pussy.
Yeah.
At least he said it. He's
Yep.
like, this is who I am.
Yep.
And what I think the lesson to learn is hey, you can say, grab him by the pussy and be like, this is how I talk, and still be a fucking president.
Yeah.
So I actually am.
So I have hope.
but really though, everyone, it's like you can be yourself. It's okay to be yourself.
Yeah.
So I actually love that about Trump. I love how, regardless of what's happening with the government, I love how the fact something's happening.
Yeah.
It feels good someone's in office and people are mad at it. Like, it's actually happening. I love how there's an efficiency department because, like I said about the DMV earlier, what the fuck? It takes months to get it right. Like, this needs to happen. And anybody who's ran a business, managed a team, etc.,
understands efficiency.
The government is so disgustingly, and you guys know this by every time you've ever interacted with them ever, taxes, etc., their length of time to respond, it is so fucked up. No company, not a single company would survive the way that the government's ran. I love that. Trump put that into place. Is he probably getting some revenge on some people who popped off? Yeah, he probably is. Now, what I don't like and where I was really mad at him in the first election is I felt like with his skills, he could have put a stop to the divisiveness.
I think that's a very fair.
That is my number.
That's fair criticism.
I think that's a very honest.
Number one with him. It wasn't even so much what he said. It's like, dog, like especially in COVID when we were all there. I was like, dog, you can go right now live and bring everyone together. Just jack off these people a little bit, like just like there and bring.
Bro, there wasn't. I think you're 100% spot on. And I agree with you a gazillion %.
Yeah.
The one thing I do not like about what he does is he gets super. And this is a problem with the people on the right and the center and right.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like judge them because the whack jobs way on the left are so insane that it's funny to watch them get pissed off.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I agree.
But like, bro, you're the president. Okay. And here's the reality. First of all, I don't think whatever he says, no matter what, the media is not going to help him. No matter what, they hate him.
Agreed.
And there's going to be people way over there with the rainbow haircuts that all hate him no matter what.
Also agreed.
But I do not hear enough or at all. We didn't hear this at all in the first time. Like, hey, man, we're all here. This is our place.
Yes.
We should all be getting along.
Which is why I liked his speech this year.
Yes.
When he came in.
Changing
because he did.
Yeah.
And that's why I think he won. Honestly, he should have never lost. He shot himself in the foot by not just being nice.
Dude, like, I think he could do.
He could have easily won.
I think he could do a massive, because dude, all the country is a big culture.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I agree.
Okay. Just like we talk about business culture, it's just big. If he were to come out and say, hey guys, listen, I know there's some others over here on the right that are insane. I know there's some people over there that are insane. Yep. But the 80%, 90% of you, we all want the same thing, man.
God. That is all I'm waiting for
and
from any leader.
If he would come out and say, I am trying to do the best job I can to create the best opportunity and environment for the 90% that are
church.
Yes. The country would transform. And like if he came out and said that 3 or 4 times.
Almost instantly.
Yeah, it would be totally different. Like you guys, we can't be judging each other based on race. We can't
I hate the two-party system.
Dude, they derive all their power from division, especially identity politics.
Across every
gay, straight,
thing.
black, white, socioeconomically.
How gay are you? Are you gay or
are you super gay? Right. Like it's insane.
I think the thing for me with politics where it goes is like, for me, I have a hard time trusting anybody who identifies as far right or far left because now you're being assigned how to think.
Dude.
I'm a free thinker.
Yes.
I'm a freedom guy. So look, if somebody wants to suck dick, wear a dick, like eat a dick, have purple hair, whatever, you care. But also, you can't make somebody who doesn't want to do that.
No, and on top of that, bro, there's boundaries.
It goes everywhere. Like everybody can do you.
Bro,
you know?
and there's boundaries. You don't force it on people's kids.
For sure.
Okay? Like shit. Like
100%.
You don't force people to go to your parades or they're a bigot. Like people can have their own beliefs. And if they have shitty beliefs, it just makes them an asshole.
Yes.
Okay?
Exactly.
Like it's just like, dude, you're just a asshole.
Dude,
like
remember when assholes, you should just be assholes, like, and it was understood.
Well, now it's if you
that guy sucks.
Well, we're back there now. Like no one gives a we say whatever the we want here and everybody gets it.
Yeah.
And like, bro, everybody gets it. It's just
I think that 80 to 90% is the realest thing ever.
Yeah.
I don't actually think there's that many people who disagree on how things should be.
And
if you talk to most people, what do they say? They go, like I'm a little more right when it comes to economics and money, and I'm a little bit more left on the liberal. It's just the same conversation. It's like everyone's on the same team.
100%.
What I don't like is when people villainize each other, and then also too, it's
what gets clicks now.
It's what gets clicks.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's just like, also, you got to realize, like, no matter what you think, there's not 150 million people that are just idiots. Like, it's just like, it's just
like
just
Kamala
so,
Harris calling the whole country fucking Nazis.
I mean, guys, it's just so arrogant to think that you're so right and 150 million other people are wrong. Like, it's just, I just don't like when someone loses their ability to see both sides, because now I can't trust you.
Well, dude,
like,
that's the other piece too, Billy. I think is important too. And again, center right has this issue. It's like, the left's always had this issue, but it's like, I think it's important. Like, I like Trump. I don't like everything about Trump.
Yeah.
I have criticisms. I have personal qualms and issues with the Trump administration. I still vote for him. I think he's the best option, but I can still articulate what I don't like about him.
Which most people can't do.
Let's break this down on a micro level. How many friends do you have that you're like, this, I love this dude for this, but this other, I don't like that part.
All of them.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
All of them. So like, why can we do that in a micro level and still have great relationship and be like, I wish that dude wouldn't drink so much, or I wish that guy, like, hey man, like,
I'm still bury a body.
That's right. Exactly.
What I didn't like is how when Trump won this time, it was like the far left was like, oh my God, but just if you voted for that, I don't know how you could be a good person.
Well,
I don't know.
That's why they lost.
And it's like 100%. And it's just so
among
arrogant.
other
it's
things.
so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so lacking self-awareness, right? And then the right did it too. And I'm just like, guys, don't you realize like this is just all a dance? Like it's all.
Dude, I think the responsible role of a leader is to bring people together to accomplish a mission.
Yes, amen.
Okay, and I think Trump could do a better job of that.
Yeah.
And I think if he did, things would get better a lot faster.
100%.
And I think he's doing a lot of good things.
Here's what I'll remind people.
Yeah.
Is especially entrepreneurs, right? Listen to this. When he was on The Apprentice, and for decades before that, there was a time when Trump was the guy.
He's in half the rap songs ever made pre 2016.
Like it was Donald Trump. Like he was the guy on The Apprentice. I loved him. You know what he was on The Apprentice? Fair.
Yeah.
Really fair. Right. Like, and it was like crazy to see. And it's like, okay, look, were there some things behind the scene? I'm sure there were, but he also has these sides. So also, even you saw the same thing happen with Elon. It was like, I don't know. And you see, I'll give you a right and left example so everybody doesn't get their pennies in a bunch. But take Elon, the same thing that happened to him right now is since he went right, it's like he's getting all this hate, and obviously there's a lot of shit that's made up, exaggerated, etc. I think the same thing happened to Bill Gates. Like Bill Gates is literally like on record a bunch of times too saying, hey, I'm donating all my money. He's done a bunch of good. He's helped a bunch of countries. He's done all these things. So is Elon. Bitch, I gave you PayPal. You send a Venmo, motherfucker. I started all that game. Like electric cars, I put you on. Like,
I think there's a difference though. I mean, I really do think Bill Gates is the evil villain.
I mean, look, so watch, maybe he is, maybe he's not, right? I don't know.
Did you ever see that video of him getting pie in the face?
No.
Oh yeah, he got pied in public, and that's when he was like, "Fuck, I'm killing everybody."
Yeah, that's when his evil villain.
Yeah.
But my point is though, is like I just think it's, to me, right outside looking in, it goes, I see the same patterns over and over again, right? And then I think the only thing that I would like to interject in the conversation for the world is that there needs to be more acceptance of what we don't know. Because as humans, we love to make sure that we have an answer.
An opinion on everything. Yeah.
It's like, that's why we love religion. Because it's like, no, I know that when I die, I go there and it gives us peace, etc. I know that person's a villain. So now I can feel good about this. I know that person scammed their way to success. So now I can feel good about my mediocrity. Like we make up these truths instead of...
That's real.
Yeah, we make up these truths instead of just owning the simple fact of, I don't know. And it's okay to not know some things.
Yeah.
We don't know. And that's like, I think people would treat it differently because we act differently when we don't know something versus certainty. Yeah. I hate certainty. Certainty, especially when in business, every time you meet another badass motherfucker, aren't you always amazed at how many questions they're always asking? It's never about what we know.
Yeah.
It's, oh, you know this? Oh, well, what are you doing for that?
Yeah.
It's never a brag fest. It's always the humility, learning.
But then you take someone, like you said, a mediocre thinker, and that person's going to say, oh, them guys are full of themselves.
Oh, my
God. They fucking think they know everything. Motherfucker, you don't even understand that the way that people like that got there is because they have a very good understanding that they don't know everything. Facts. And they are willing to learn.
You can't get there. You can't.
Humility is a requirement of success.
100%.
And these people say, oh, because you drive a fucking Rolls Royce, you're not humble. No. I drive a Rolls Royce because I'm very humble and I'm able to take information.
And it's fucking sick.
Well, yeah. And yeah, it makes me
They are
very
really
comfortable.
nice. Yeah,
The lamb seat. The
Bro,
feet, my
listen,
feet,
there's
those
nothing
socks,
better.
it's good.
There's nothing better.
No, it's not.
There's nothing better.
Yes.
There's nothing better.
No.
Nothing. And I'm not apologizing for it.
No.
And I'm not going to apologize that I can drive a different car every fucking day of the month. Because you know what? I did shit that you're not willing to do for a long fucking time.
Church.
And it has nothing to do with being humble or not. It has to do with actually I'm very humble because I'm willing to take in information, process it, and adapt and realize, oh, I don't know everything. Billy knows some shit more than me. I'm going to do what he told me.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you know, and so I think that's
But dude, I agree with that a gazillion %. The conversation of unity needs to happen more, and we have to identify that we are intentionally being divided for the benefit of people that do not have our interest as regular humans, and we'll call them us peasants.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know, people say, well, you're rich. You're not no, I'm a peasant. I'm not in their club.
Yep.
You're a peasant. We're that's why we got the Pesante water here. Because
Yeah,
we're peasants, bro.
got him at Target.
That's right. And so like, dude, we, you know, I got mine over here too, brother. Like we are the peasants.
Okay, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Both of you. So,
But my point is we have to get past the idea that we actually don't like each other.
yeah,
it's not true.
It's not true.
It's not true, man.
Not true at all. The other thing that I want to question about Trump, which I thought was dangerous, which is why I didn't like it. So again, I'm his biggest fan for if a reporter asks a stupid question, being like, that was a dumb question. I love when NBA players do it too.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, how did you feel when you lost?
Suck.
You think I think it's appropriate to say, how the f do you think I felt?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's an appropriate response.
Bro, you know who's the best at that?
Who?
Fucking Dana White.
Yeah,
He's the best.
He is. I do love him for that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, you know what? He's a good example to me of what Trump should have done more. And so Trump will do that, but then he'll take it far. So like, for example, he'll be like, Rosie O'Donnell's fat and an idiot. Now, mind you,
It's
mind
true.
You, if it's the truth, or mind you, if it's comedic timing,
Yeah, right.
you're the president, you can't do that.
Yeah, right.
You can say she's acting like an idiot, whatever, like this. But when you're saying that, because now you're green lighting everybody who's looking up to you that isn't smart to go up to someone and be like, you're a fat idiot piece of shit.
Yeah.
And if our kids did that to somebody, especially because they're winners or people that we look to, we'd be like, you don't talk to people like that.
I think there is a level of conduct that a leader at any level should try to abide by if they want to be respected and actually bring people together. I do not behave the way I behaved 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 20 years ago. I realized that there's weight to my words and I realized there's weight to my actions. And while I still am a dumb, immature mother, I try to keep that where it belongs. You know what I'm saying? And like
at your house after this.
yes, that's right. Like you and we're going to say a bunch of shit.
The most.
But when I'm like out in front of everybody, I'm going to try to remember like, hey man, I'm here to set an example. And I want to make sure that we accomplish what we're here to do. Yeah. And it's not, I keep it real, but I also understand there's things that you should say and not say. And, he
has to work on that.
Yeah, he does. That's it.
I want to, but I would
and
also.
I think, and watch this. I think he did, which is why he won. And,
Yeah.
and won in a way. I think
he is working on it. Like,
Yeah,
I think it's
I think
an
it
active thing, but I also like to just bring this into perception here that when you have a $1 billion industry, okay, that is nonstop attacking you.
Trillion
$1 industry. Okay. Because here's the truth. Like nobody batted an eye when Kathy Griffin is holding up a head of them.
I mean, they definitely batted an eye. I remember that shit.
She got canceled for that.
She got actually canceled and went to jail.
But my point being is like that's cool. We could do that, or we can make the rap songs. Saying like keep Donald Trump. Like that's cool, right? Like we, you know what I'm saying. So it's like, I think Trump's issue that what rubs people the wrong way, but it's an ego thing. But it's like when nobody else is willing to like toot your horn, bro.
You have to toot your own. That's a fact.
I actually agree with that.
That's a
It's a
fact.
strategy play. I didn't know at first, but yeah, he'll be the first one to tell you, like,
bro.
hey, when I brought back TikTok.
Yeah. But bro,
That's kind of funny.
That's real. That's real shit.
Yeah, you
like
gotta choose, bro.
if people do not acknowledge the shit that you do, you have to tell them.
Yeah.
And like
that's gonna come off arrogant,
I'll give you an
bro.
example for me. Okay. I give a lot of money away. Period.
Yeah.
A lot. Okay. If I don't tell people that I gave a lot of money away, I'm a greedy because of the way.
Shit.
Yes. You're greedy. You're this or that.
But if you do,
then I'm a douchebag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you win?
Yeah.
Right. And at the end of the day,
by the way, I have a Boys and Girls Club in Southeast San Diego called Boys and Girls Club Genius.
Yeah.
And
you've had it for a while.
Yeah. And then and of course I get the DMs of like, man, this is just a marketing move, right? This is just a marketing move. But then first of all, I'm like, the way I quote it is this: give loud to inspire the crowd.
That's right.
I said, so you would rather me do this silently where only I give money, or do it loud and inspire all the homies in my network
to give more money?
Shut the fuck up.
I agree with you.
No, like, what are you talking about?
That's what produces.
Listen to idiots.
That's what produces the Rosie O'Donnell that's fat. And, you know what I'm saying? That's produces bro.
I have another political belief that's people don't really with, but I'm going to bring it up and curious your guys' thoughts. I do believe that you should have to take a test to vote on a lot of issues.
No, I say it every show. Here it is. Here it is, bro.
It's a real thing.
Here it is.
It's a real thing.
Not even take a test. If you do not pay taxes have that year, or you are behind on your taxes, you do not get a vote.
That's fair.
If you pay into the system, you can decide how the system operates.
100%.
If you do not, you can't.
In any clubhouse, this would be acceptable.
Right.
Like,
think about this. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you're 14 years old. If you got a job and you're paying taxes, you can vote. But dude, people that are collecting and not contributing should not have a say.
I agree.
Because they've
100%.
created this state now where there's so many people dependent and they have such a voice that all they're going to do is vote in their own interest, which, by the way, that's not fair to people like you and me who sacrifice and invest a lot in our outcomes. So
I give the example.
That's real shit. We should have to. There should be some limitations.
100%. It's like, if you ask your employees, hey, should you have 365 days off a year? In some companies, they'll be like, yeah, not considering. Well, how the fuck are we going to make money? Like, okay, yeah, let's go do it. And then not, so I don't know. I
also think a lot of people who've been championing this shit, like 4-day work week, 2-day work week, this, that, the other. They just fucked themselves because now the shit's going to happen and they're not going to have jobs. Like, there's no leverage. Here's the thing, and this is the bad part.
Okay, I don't like far left employees.
Well, Billy, they don't work. It doesn't matter. That's the thing. They yell and scream and talk about how they're going to fucking cancel you, but they can't because they don't have any money to buy anything. That's the facts. Bro, that's what I've learned on this show. I've learned that on the show. I can piss them off and say whatever the fuck I want, and they can't do anything because they don't spend money, and certainly don't spend money on health and fitness. They don't give a fuck. Okay? So this
was a hair dye company.
There's some buff far lefties.
Yeah. Is there?
Yeah, the whole gay community. Them niggas are jacked.
Yeah, but I don't think I think most of the gay community are not far left anymore because they.
Oh, that's actually
I think
those shit. That's the thing because the left has got like that's what I was saying.
I'm talking about these. I'm not talking like, bro. There's a difference between Democrats and leftists. Yeah. I'm talking about the leftists.
For sure.
Democrats.
I like the
general Democrats are reasonable people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They are people who have. And they do run businesses, and they are
productive.
Yes,
they do shit.
Same with Republicans,
but they also will listen, and they will say, "Okay, that makes sense." Yeah. I'm talking about the crazy motherfuckers.
Hey, I did a drill in my company to give you an idea. So we do a morning huddle up, and every morning huddle up, I go on Zoom. Everybody goes around, or we're in person, whatever the fuck we're in the office. And I said after the election, when it happened, because I have a lot of people who are left in my office, and I have people right too. And I said, "Hey, we're gonna do one drill today. Everyone's going to say what the positive is about Trump getting elected. I don't give a fuck how you feel. Because the second you lose your ability to be able to see the other side, you are the problem.
That's right.
Don't you get it twisted. You are. Same thing. And it would have been the same the other way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have to be able to see.
So what would you say positive about Biden? What would you say positive about Biden? I know what I would say. Huh. Well, you say first though.
Oh, fuck. I like ice cream. I mean, I like that he likes ice cream.
No, see, that's what they tried to do on my huddle, and I said, "Stop doing that shit."
No.
That's I had to correct that. Yeah,
I would say, well, he's so old he might die. That's a good thing.
It's a hard drill.
Yeah.
It's a hard drill. Like, it's good.
I mean, but that's the thing. But like, the window has shifted because, like, when you tie your identity to this
Notice
identity,
DJ did not do it. Notice he did not do it. He continued on it. He did not do it.
Well, I'm saying, I'll be honest. Like, I'll be real with you, bro. I think, like, I have a different perspective on that. I think the amount of destruction that man has done to this country. I mean, you talk about
It's treasonous,
Trump, bro. You talk about like not uniting. Like, Trump needs to do better on uniting. I'm with that 100%. Biden has intentionally divided this.
Yes. Not only that, bro.
And
intentionally weakened the country.
Yeah,
intentionally.
Intentionally.
And it's traceable through the funds that he's received over the number of years.
Yeah,
That's why they pardoned everybody at the end. Like, they were taking money. I don't know how much you know about this, but they were taking foreign influence money and pay for play. Meaning things like this. And before I say this, allegedly. Okay. But Hunter Biden selling paintings for $50,000,
$500,000
that he
yeah
squirted some paint. Where is that coming from? Oh, it's coming.
I did hear a lot about the Hunter Biden thing. I never knew much
it's
about
coming.
it. But
it's coming from foreign buyers, and what are they getting in return? And then you have Bro,
Hunter Biden was on a board of
for
Burisma, which is a Ukrainian gas company, oil and gas company. Okay, this was in 2014. Who was in office in 2014? Barack and Joe Biden.
Yeah,
right. Hunter Biden magically got on this $1 billion company board with zero experience, zero backing, simply because he was the son of the vice president of the United States. Biden goes over there, makes him fire a prosecutor who was looking into that company, right? Ukraine fires that prosecutor.
He gives him $1 billion.
And then he releases
how much?
$1 billion in United States aid to that country. Years later, now fast forward, right? Fast forward. What war has the United States been supporting by proxy for the last?
Okay, let me ask you guys this, because let's say what you're saying is true.
Yeah.
Well, it is true.
No.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, so let's say that it happened. Where do you guys go? What amount of thought do you put to everything that we don't see and we'll never see? Because we're not in there, right? Like in the meetings, right? There's probably all kinds of stuff for public safety that's never shared, right?
Is that right?
I would imagine.
Well, no, I'm saying, is that morally right? Let me ask you this. You think it is?
I think we run our companies. I'm a transparent leader and so are you, but there's still some shit that's like a me and my CFO convo.
That might be true, but also we're paying the employees. They're not paying us.
That's a big difference.
That's touche.
All
right, that's
difference.
fair. But also,
so if the employees were paying us to operate the company, would they not deserve the right to know what the is going on?
Honestly, we just established how many stupid people there are. If I'm president, I'm definitely gonna lie to y'all about some shit. Make no mistake, 100%. There's some situations to keep things calm. I'm definitely gonna lie to you guys about some
Billy,
things.
that's not why they're lying.
Yeah,
they're lying now for their own benefit, and that's the problem. Okay, it's not lying to protect you and me. That's the excuse they use.
Yeah, national security.
So the Patriot Act. Let's take the. Do you know the Patriot Act?
Teach me.
Okay, so when 9/11 happened, they came out with the Patriot Act, which allowed us to spy on foreign enemies, and all of us were like, yeah, let's get them, because back then, dude, none of us really understood that there was an agenda at play that was not in our interest. We all believed America loves us, our government loves us, they protect us.
They gave us an enemy, we went after the enemy.
That's right. So naturally, we're all on the same team.
Yeah.
These guys throw a rock and it hits you in the face, and we're like, kill him, right?
Yeah.
But what if that threw the rock was paid by him to start the shit because he had interest that were going to make him money?
It happens a lot.
So now we're dealing with a situation where we've all figured out that these people are not operating with our interests in mind. So it's very apparent and trackable. So the Patriot Act basically started this. The Patriot Act was this act that said we can spy on people that are over in the Middle East, basically.
Enemies of America.
But then they created domestic terrorism. So now if you speak out or say something,
they label you as a domestic terrorist,
and they can spy on you.
All your stuff.
So this is what Snowden did. Snowden came out. Edward Snowden came out and told this, and then they labeled him as a traitor when all he was
said, "You're so right. We're going to do it to you."
Yes, 100%.
All he said was, "Hey, listen, the government is recording everything that you say, every picture, every phone call,
every text message."
But also too, I don't think any of that's new. right? Like that's not new.
Well,
right?
that's new from
that's
from the Patriot Act,
right?
Well, I mean, it's new of like 2002, 2003.
Do we think so? You don't think the government was looking at our shit before? You didn't see?
Well, they didn't have the technology.
Yeah, it didn't really exist. I mean, wiretapping was a thing, sure, but like, I mean, even that like required court processes. The difference is with the Patriot, it doesn't require any of that. Like
to me, it sounds like again just hearing like it feels like now we have the NIL deals with college, but it's like they've been getting paid. You know what I mean? Like they've been getting paid. College players been getting paid to go somewhere, and so. But I get what you guys are saying as far as weaponizing this to their benefit.
Here's the we could sum it up by saying this: we pay them to look out for us, and when they stop looking out for us and start sending the money overseas to get it funneled back to their own pockets, which is how they go in making $175K a year and walk out worth $100 million.
I agree with
you. That's a problem. And then when they
I do like how
they escalate that, bro. So now what they do is for example, you saw what happened in Afghanistan where they left all the equipment over there. All right. Why did they do that? Well, they all own stock in Raytheon and Lockheed and all these things. And then by getting involved in Ukraine, we don't have the equipment. So now they got to make more and their stock goes up. So it's all a big fuck job for all of us while they tax you. You're in California, bro. You're getting raped. Okay,
that's true. I have the holes to prove it.
You're paying over. You are paying over 50% of your income to the government.
I cried.
Okay, now if you pay over 50% of your income to the government, what does that make you?
A hoe.
No. What's it make you, bro?
What?
It makes you a slave.
You're working more.
You work more for the government than you do for you.
I get it.
That's not okay, and that's not free.
Listen, I definitely agree.
We're all
that,
the same.
Right?
We are slave class, bro. We are slave class. We are just told we were free, and we are not free. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah. So I believe, and again, I'm hearing this right. This is new, but I believe what you guys are saying. It makes sense, and like, okay, I just say to you two, do you have the same energy on the other side? Because to me, I think I
get yelled at by both.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I think it's a political thing on both.
Like
sides.
right now,
I think if it's happening on one, it's happening on
right
the other.
now. I'm getting yelled at.
There is no right and like that. That's
the government.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and
it's not only Democrats doing it, bro. Like no, they're all in the same fucking.
So listen.
Okay, cool.
There's three categories of officials right now.
Yeah.
There is Democrats. There is Republicans, and these are what we would call established Democrats, established Republicans, and then there is non-affiliated members of each party. Very few. There's a few Democrats that are not establishment Democrats, meaning they are in office to actually make change.
Yeah.
On the Republican side, there's a few more, all right? The reason they hate Trump so much, and the reason both sides hate him, is because he is the least like that out of all the politicians. He's independently wealthy.
I like Trump for that.
Yes.
Same page.
So he is he represents a third unaffiliated class of political figure that isn't on the take the way these other two are.
Yeah.
Okay? And now what's happened is we've had these fucking establishment guys on the right and establishment people on the left try to weasel their way into there.
He's fucking our game up. We've had this thing running for hundreds of years. He's coming. He's fucking our game up.
But now they've tried. Now they've infiltrated his shit. So now, like, these people are scavengers, dude. And basically, what we have is a totally corrupt system that needs to be the real talk is it needs to be wiped clean and started over.
I agree. But I do think that a lot of this happens less from. Well, I don't want to say less than agenda, but I do think it's just humans doing what they've done throughout history, which is put themselves first.
That's right.
So, like, when Biden's doing his thing.
Well, what's the saying?
He's doing
what's the saying? Uncorrupted or unchecked.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Well, because bro,
and Billy, it's happened for so long that it's just so infested with shit that, like, I don't think it can be fixed. I think it has to be burnt down.
Now we're dealing with people who are born into it. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like kids born into technology world now, like they don't know what the a letter is or how to write it. Like no, it's Instagram DMs, right? Like that's just how it is. You know, I think the political landscape, left or right, again, like I don't look at it as a difference there. it's changed over the course of this country's history, right? Like it used to be, we were farmers, bro. And like, there was a problem going on and we saw something that was going to affect our farms and our local communities. I'm going to go in office. I'm going to serve for this, quick term. I'm going to vote on the shit that I said I was going to vote on, fix the shit I said I was going to fix. And I'm going back to my farm. These people are in office for 40 years, bro. And
I don't think that's healthy. Yeah.
Accomplish what? And then they come out, they overtax us. They spend 40 years in office, come out worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, that's
and
crazy
fix
too.
what? And fix what? All they do is cause more division.
No, it's
and create the
no.
problems
You
they
said
say
it
they're gonna
earlier.
fix.
It's a dance.
Yeah.
It's a fake.
Yeah.
It's fake. We're gonna fix. They have no intention of fixing it.
No, bro. And then they come out on camera, act like they argue with each other, and then go play golf and have dinner together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's.
What do you think about that picture that went viral with Obama and Trump like laughing together?
Yeah.
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 I mean, like
No, trust me, dude. I get yelled at now because now I'm criticizing Trump and people are mad because I'm not just like mindlessly like,
Guys,
bro.
it's okay to criticize your friends and
You're
people. It's
supposed to.
okay.
You're
It's
supposed
okay.
to,
You're
bro.
supposed to. Yeah,
it's
it's all
objective,
right.
bro. You have to look
Yeah.
at shit objectively, man. It's like, is it working or is it not?
Yeah, I think you mentioned purpose earlier. I do think people find purpose in being on a team, right?
Yeah.
That's why you kind of join a
Yeah.
company or a coach,
Yeah.
et cetera. And so it makes them happy that
It's part of their
you're like,
identity.
hey, yeah, that's right, guys. Arms around the libtards. Oh, those far right fascists. Like, it gives them.
And
a
you
team,
can't
right?
fix
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah, you can't fix anything, but it makes them feel better.
Yeah.
And
I
most
agree
people
with that.
chase feelings instead of results.
Well, it's the same thing. It's group think. It's no
poison.
different. It's a very unhealthy way of being a fan. That's what it is.
I think the other thing
that's
is
a good
too,
way to put it. Yeah, it's an unhealthy way of being a fan. Yeah,
I'm a
that.
Cardinals fan. I don't like the Cubs fans.
Right.
Like
I'm a Chevy guy.
Yeah, I'm a Ford guy. Right.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the same shit, and we're all conditioned to doing that in different areas of our life. But when it comes to politics, it's very unhealthy because we can't solve anything.
Yeah. And the other thing is too, I'll say this, like I don't believe that like all politicians go into office with that nefarious like
No, they get
will.
sucked in.
They get in, they see how the game is played, and then they're left no options. Like if
Or they get blackmailed to go along.
If people really know how politics, these committee seats work, bro. Like, imagine
It's like we talked about with business in the beginning. It's just
that's what I'm saying.
payola
You
and
get in the
relationships
game, and like fuck, everybody's playing the game. You have no choice, right?
Yeah.
Like if people really knew how for example, let's look at the Senate committee real quick, right? Let's say you're a new senator, you just got elected, you raised $2-3 million from your constituents, they voted you in, you won your election, you're in now, right?
Yeah.
And you want to go sit on the Senate Appropriations Committee, right? Well, those seats, each one of those seats, they cost you. Like you have to pay to be on that panel.
So your PAC pays,
right? And so, okay, well, depending on the committee, those seats can go anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million. Well, fuck, you just raised $2 million and you spent it on your campaign. You don't have money.
Mm-hmm.
Here's this lobby that comes in. Oh, okay, Billy, you want to get on that seat? We'll pay for your seat there, no problem. Just make sure when this vote comes up, you vote for this.
Yeah, classic
right?
lobbyist.
And so, like, dude, there's a bunch of problems in government that needs to be addressed. Term limits, lobbying.
Guys, this is literally why though. Like, just with anything, is I'm so big on just investing in my personal brand for the last decade, and like running ads is because I need. If I want
it's
to
the
do
only way to
something,
be
I wanna
free.
have my own money. You want to have your own voice. You want to have your own direct line with people. Like it's
dude, it's what I say.
Free.
It's what we say here all the time, dude. Personal excellence, ultimate rebellion. If you create your individual self into an uncontrollable human, you're going to win, and you'll be free. The free as you can be.
Right.
Right.
If they want you fat, you got to be fit. They want you broke, you got to make money. They want you to hate the thing that you aren't, you got to get along with those people.
Yeah.
Right? You got to do everything opposite of what they tell you, because everything they tell you is for their
that
benefit.
last part you said, that's good, because we all need to be better at that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, dude, it's real shit.
Well, I mean, but
And that's why they don't come out and say the shit that we're like, why aren't they saying this?
Yeah.
Why don't they come out and say, hey, black people and white people, you're all a bunch of fucking idiots, get along.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck? That's not hard. Like, it's real easy.
No one says that.
Well,
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, like, but again, going back to reality, bro, like, I remember even in the height, like, you had the George Floyd shit, like, even in the height of it, bro, me and Andy were going across the country, doing these talks, speaking to people, meeting people. Real world, bro, the shit didn't exist like that. Like, we didn't walk down the street and, like, it was, like, in the real world,
well, it's all
does
getting
not exist.
Well, I wouldn't
right?
say it doesn't exist.
I would say
that's a little deep, but I get what you're saying.
If
I
you're
get
watching,
your point.
if you
of
watch
like,
CNN and you watch fucking Fox, you think it's fucking.
now that
everywhere.
doesn't exist.
You
What
think it's
CNN
everywhere.
and
Yeah.
Fox do is
You think
a
it-
small
you-
window that they blow up.
You think
I
it would
agree.
be
That is
everywhere, bro.
bullshit.
You think
That
it'd
is
be
bullshit.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's racism on both sides.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
fucking
sure.
For sure.
I mean, there's no doubt, bro. It's openly acceptable to hate white people. Openly acceptable.
I will agree
Yeah.
with you on that.
And
right
that's
now, yeah.
like that's where I get pissed off on the race conversation, because it's like, bro, you gonna call me a racist for breathing the air because I exist when it's okay to legitimately hate white people out in the open?
I agree.
Yeah,
with you.
and like
I will agree on that
and
point.
it's wrong no matter what.
Yeah.
And I'm I'm tired of that shit. Like, bro, off. Like, I got stabbed in the face for that cause. Like, I'm not gonna hear it.
Yeah. I would say, I'm with you 1,000%.
And there's
it's a weird time where,
Yeah.
like I've the jokes of like, like it's hard out here as a white man right now with, how much this, but also too, I do think there is this weird conversation right now on the white side that racism, like, it doesn't exist. That one pisses me off. And so I just
think what they're saying, bro, I think I can tell you what I think that means. Like, people having a tendency to speak in absolutes.
Right.
When people say that, I don't believe, like, because I've said that before. It doesn't exist. But I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying it doesn't exist the way that we're saying it exists.
Yeah. I think
Right?
that's-
Like,
yeah.
I don't get invited to the Klan barbecues.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, bro, I've been a white guy my whole. I've been a white guy my whole life, bro, and I'm a very
get
outspoken.
invited?
I've never met one of these. Like, I've never seen a dude walking around a pointy hat. Like, I've never.
I think the easiest way of where it's at now, how I try and explain it to people is, I don't think it's the old school Klan shit for the most part, right? You have idiots out there, very rare. I think it's mostly just we have our biases. So, for example, take race out of it for a second. Me and you vibe. We both played sports. We run businesses. We believe in hard work. We share a lot of commonalities and values, sense of humor, laugh at the same stupid shit. If somebody comes along and they're different than us, we're probably going to have a slight favoritism towards us. And I think that is what modern day racism is.
I actually,
it's just we have bias
but that's
what we're comfortable
Yeah,
with.
but brother, that's not actually racism. That's just biases towards. Against,
now,
Well, 'cause I'm not saying,
hold
like,
on.
that-
But
that
where
exists.
it becomes racism, or could feel like that to people, is if me and you look the same and there was 100 more people that looked the same like that, and now we still shared that. It's going to feel like racism.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is essentially, so going back to we share those common values. If we're 100 white guys all sharing those common values, and then everybody else who's not like us is all black, you're not going to be like, I don't like you because you're not black, but it doesn't change the fact that still 100 white people saying it against 100 black people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean,
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's
so
tribalism. I mean, it's
yeah,
But that's what
exactly.
I'm saying,
but like
so
that's
call it
but
tribalism.
brother, that's not that exists amongst every culture and
100%, and that's what I think the racism is being called. That's what I agree.
So
right.
I don't disagree with that, but where I get pissed off is because for my whole life, okay, I've been told, and it's progressively gotten worse.
Yeah.
That now it's to the point where, and it's getting better now. Now people are like, dude, this is stupid. So, but there was a point a few years ago where if you were white, you were racist by default. You just don't know
Inherently racist.
Yeah.
And it's
I'm
like,
not a fan
bro,
of that.
shut
I'm
the
not a
f-
fan
up.
of that.
I'm not hearing this shit.
I'm
you
not
know,
a fan of that.
and like, dude, this thing of like, I'm responsible for what happened 400 years ago. My family wasn't even here. And by the way, I'm Sicilian, which means our people were conquered by black people and raped. My blood is part African because of it. So like, when we really break this down, it's just a stupid argument. And the reality of it is that we can't control what happened. We can control what happens now. And what should
with that, because I'm with you on the same page. So what is your guys' feelings on the conversation around privilege?
I think there's American privilege, bro. And I think we're all greedy. I have a hard time like buying into that there's this privilege. Like, Andy's not where he's at because he's privileged. Andy's where he's at because for the last 26 years he's worked his ass off. if I do the exact same thing that dude did for the next 26 years, there's a good chance I'm gonna be exactly where he's at,
or successful,
or even
at the very
better.
least.
Right? Like.
I mean, there's.
So
Listen,
you, DJ, this is interesting. So you don't think privilege exists?
I don't. No, absolutely not. I think we have American privilege. I think we're
Well,
the most,
okay. So what's American privilege?
I think we're the most privileged people because shit's too good. We don't like we
make up problems.
we try
Yeah.
to
If you
create
believe,
problems.
well, I mean, so if you believe in American privilege, then you kind of by default believe in white privilege.
No,
Because if
white
you realize,
privilege doesn't
well, hold on.
wait,
There's different
yeah, I was
perspectives
just gonna
here.
say, so let me
Because there's also
There's black privilege,
there's
bro.
black privilege.
Yeah, wait, I agree.
Yeah.
So let me go. So like, if there's American privilege, then when people talk about white privilege, you have to understand that's real because you're saying in America we have it too good. We all agree with that, right? We've seen some other countries and how we're living, like clean water. We get that. Also, too, if you were white and you were allowed, your grandparents were allowed to own land and own property and pass it down, that's privilege.
Yeah, but here's
like,
the thing.
I mean,
Here's the
and by
thing.
the way, it's not a bad thing, which I
No,
want to get to in a second, but
here's the
it
thing.
exists. Like,
my wife, I have a black wife.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. You ain't gotta feel sorry for me or nothing. But
shut up.
her family, her family has like 500 acres down in Arkansas that like was been passed.
But you're not going to talk about a unicorn and
and
talk about the mess, right?
But that's most. There's a lot of black owners that own property down south. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like
well, hold on.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
just the fact of that, because we like facts and real. It's
Sure.
like you're talking about like what? Like black people were not allowed to own property for so long. Like this is just
hold
like,
on.
what it was.
Hold on.
Where,
hold
though?
on. There's
Where?
number
Everywhere. We
That's
weren't
not
even
true.
allowed
Billy.
to vote. Like what?
Billy,
guys.
That's not untrue, but there's also been a lot more white people here than black people the entire time it's existed.
Yeah. But like also, okay. Let's just start like just so we're all on the same page because we're all pretty much agreeing except for this topic. I'm acknowledging. Let me rephrase it. Take my daughter.
Mhm.
We can all agree. My baby is privileged as a motherfucker. She got Rolodex. She'll grow up and have property. She'll have down payment. She'll
Private
have
schools.
education.
Yeah, sure.
She'll have
Why is that?
all of that because of her dad's hard work,
Mhm.
right? Et
So why didn't white privilege stop
so-
you?
And so I didn't say. See, now you're putting words in my mouth. Like
I'm just asking.
I didn't
Yeah.
say white privilege stopped me.
Mhm.
I didn't say anything else besides the fact we're going to acknowledge that it exists. Because here's the
I
deal.
think privilege
Here's-
exists, but I don't think it's exclusively to white people.
Correct. But just white privilege just happens to have a lot more advantages than some of the other ones. That's all. But I agree with you. There's privilege in all different types. But for example, is if we weren't allowed, if our grandparents or great whatever gap were allowed to own land, own property, go to good schools, had other grandparents who were attorneys, doctors, etc., would they not have a massive advantage?
No, because here's the
Okay,
thing.
that we're lying.
let me-
What are
let
you
me- no,
talking
let me say
about?
this.
Literally, that's just like math. What do you mean?
Let me say this.
Well, hold on.
Like, hold on. Let me just finish the last
Yeah.
thing. So my daughter has all the things that we just talked about, and we acknowledge she has privilege. So how can you not acknowledge that there's white privilege? I don't.
Easy. Let me say this, Bill, because the thing is,
I have to get black.
you
in here
can
for a
give
second.
you can give somebody all the shit in the world. They still have to do it.
I guarantee. Yes,
All right?
I agree.
And so even though like I have 2 daughters, right?
Yeah.
I'm setting them up for fucking success.
I agree.
There's not a guarantee they're gonna make it.
I agree.
Right? There is still a lot of white people who have those same advantages. They're still white trash.
I agree.
There's
I
more
agree.
poor white people.
It just
than
doesn't change the fact that it exists. I agree with you. You still have to do more. It doesn't take away.
That's what I'm
like my
saying. So
daughter's
it's
still
like-
going to have to work her ass off.
And guess what?
I get it.
Most people, white or black, that are successful came from shit. Like hard work is hard work. You can't outbeat that.
We
My
agree
question
on
is
everything you just
my
said,
question
but
is
we
okay,
have to
so
acknowledge that there is
even
white privilege.
Acknowledging it, but
There's
what
black
is-
privilege too, bro.
hold on,
And
but look,
black.
hold
Well,
on.
what's black privilege?
What does it change?
Black
I guess
privilege
that's my
is-
question. What does it change? Acknowledging
Okay,
that
that's a
white
different
privilege
question.
exists. What does it change?
Empathy.
So what? What
let me
does that
let me explain it
change?
to you. Let me
What
explain it
does
to you.
it
Let me explain it
change?
to you. If a kid was here, I'm just gonna. I hate to random country, and they're here and they grew up without running water, without electricity, without education, etc. All 3 of us, and they came here in this room today, and they're around us. All 3 of us would be a little bit more empathetic. We would be more open. We would see how we could help. We would pour into them. If somebody just down the street came through and was like, "Yo, guys, Billie Jean, Andy Frisella," we're a little less empathetic. Like it's built in us. It's empathy. Empathy is the difference, and that's why acknowledging things is important. That's it. But now at the same time, it's not a hall pass. Now, no one get this message confused that this is a fucking green light to be a victim.
Well, it's been presented that way.
I agree with you.
It's been hung out in front of my fucking face my entire life. Like motherfuckers discounting the price I've paid to get where I'm at. Do you know when people tell me that I'm where I'm at because I've got some sort of privilege, I want to choke them.
For sure.
Because I can promise you, every single one of those that said that could not walk a day in my shoes. None of them.
I agree.
Okay? So
But do you agree that, because that's what you said.
Hold on. Also, on top of that, I have been having to deal with that my entire life, being told that I have it easier when I've almost blown my brains out 1,000 times to get where I'm at. On top of that, I can't point simple things out, otherwise I'm racist, such as that 6% of the men in this country create 50+% of the violent crime. That is a statistical fact. That does not make you a racist for pointing it out. Okay? Because if we do not acknowledge that, how can we solve the problem? The actual racism exists in ignoring that and pretending that it doesn't exist.
Okay.
Because the reality is if you actually gave a about black people in this country, you would be able to say, this is a problem. We need to fix this problem. We wouldn't say, oh, that's not actually true. You're a racist. Okay, so I actually have
there needs to be truth.
Yes.
And also too, since we met, like you grew up, like let me just say, I think it's wrong for people to do that to you.
Well, no.
Let me go.
Well, hold on. There's more to this. There's more to this too.
Yeah.
Okay. We can in this country, it is acceptable, and it has been acceptable my entire life to hate white people in the open. There has always existed black entertainment television. There has always existed the black Grammys. There has always existed all these things that segregate society.
But we didn't get invited to those, which is why they were there.
Maybe. I don't know. It didn't happen in my lifetime. Yeah. I'm not concerned with what happened before I was here.
Well, that's why people are mad.
All I can control is how I behave. And how I behave, I have Syed, who is Indian. I have Madat, who is Bosnian. I have DJ, who is black. I've got Billy, who is black.
Yeah.
To me, you are just my friends.
Yeah.
And I don't give a how black you are or Indian you are. In fact, I'm going to make fun of you about it because you're going to make fun of me about
100%.
it.
Well,
okay? Yeah. That's what friends do. So, there is multiple sides to this equation. And at the end of the day, I don't think that you're making an inaccurate point. But what I do think is that it's been hung out in front of society.
Yeah.
And I think it's enabled and created a culture amongst certain groups of people, both white and black and Asian, of victim class. And we're telling them that the reason that you can't succeed is because of something that happened 200 years ago.
Yes.
And you are examples of that not being true. That is not true.
Not the only
You drive a Rolls
me
Royce
respond
just
to that.
like I drive one. Okay.
Yeah, but you have more cars than me. But
Okay. Well, that's because of privilege.
That's why. That's just the white privilege,
So, but my point is that we can argue these things.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, bro, we as grown men have an obligation to put an end to the division and the divisive shit.
So I agree with you in what you just said.
I don't think that you're wrong in what you're saying. But we can't generalize all white people in that because, like, for example, my family came to the United States in the 20s and they were extremely poor. They were bricklayers, okay? And my dad grew up in a family of 12, and when they starved, when they were kids, they were starving.
Yep.
They collected rainwater to fucking drink it, okay? Our generation and my family went from very poor to not as poor, to a little bit better, to where now I've been presented with an opportunity. And while I wasn't given any money, I was blessed with a father that cared about me, that taught me a lot of valuable lessons.
Yes.
And so could be considered privilege, which is why I give so much back. That's why I teach what I know, because I know that not everybody out there had a dad like I had or a mom like I had that was willing to teach me things. So there's going to be privileges in different areas, no matter who you are.
Right.
And I just don't feel like, I feel like we're at a point in time in culture where we really need to understand that no matter what's happened, there is good people and there's bad people. And no matter what's happened, all we can control is what we do now and do the best that we fucking can.
That's
dude. And that's how I've always felt. Like, dude, when I think of like American heroes, bro, and I know a lot of people say that Martin Luther King was a communist and all this shit. I don't give a fuck. His message was fucking right. Content of character.
That's all that matters.
Okay? And discrimination or special standards, we live in a meritocracy. And until that changes, it is what it is. Everybody should be treated with respect. Everybody should be having, and here's what I will say.
Yeah.
There is a problem with the black communities, but the problem is not white people doing it. Here's the problem. The problem is the Democrats that they voted for 60 years come in every 4 years and say, Billy, we're going to fix your people. We're going to fix your neighborhood. We're going to get you money for schools and infrastructure and this and that and this. And then they don't do any of it. They go and they take the money. And these are not just white people. This isn't people on the right. This is the people they're voting for. And this is black people doing it to their own people. So they vote for black people. The black people go to Washington. They figure out how to steal the money and over their own people. So how is that my fault? Right? How is it my fault?
So
hold on. How is it my fault that I can say, hey, I'm a business guy.
Yeah.
You're a data guy, right?
Yeah.
Like we look at data all.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, here's what I got to solve. We have 6% of the population committing 52% of the crime, and most of that crime is done amongst their own people in their own neighborhood. How do we fix that?
Yeah, but we also look at history and the why.
The first way that we fix that, if we actually care about those people, which we should, because they're all Americans, and that's the principle of America.
Now,
it's what America's been founded on,
but
right?
It's founded on slavery.
Well,
but like,
it's founded on a set of principles, and
for certain people.
Well,
like, you know what I mean? That's because we're on the same page. Because I want to just first say,
can't control what they did.
100%.
I control what we do,
and you do a good job of that.
But what I'm saying is we have to acknowledge what the problems are and allow them to be addressed and solved, and not called racist because we acknowledge them.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's my piece on it too, bro. It's like, you know, my upbringing, bro, right? Like where I grew up, the worst area you could possibly grow up. Okay. I'm talking about the worst area in St. Louis. All right. I saw my first dead body at 9 years old taking out the trash, bro. Okay. Bad. My dad was out of my life.
You seen Boys in the Hood?
Yeah.
You know Doughboy?
Yeah.
It was based on him.
Never said that.
Hey, good ass movie though. Ricky!
Bro, it's one of
household,
the best ever.
Single parent household, right? My mom's white. Okay. You don't, if white, like my thing is on this, like the white privilege part, bro. If it did exist, if it does exist like we say it does, where the was, I would have loved to have.
Hey, guess
some.
what? You missed out on white privilege.
I would love to have
hold on,
some.
bro. Let me ask you this. So if we're gonna say that, then couldn't I say, because I'm Sicilian and American Indian, couldn't I say my people were treated terrible? My people were conquered by the Moors.
So listen, I mean,
so where's it stop?
I'll tell you guys. I heard you.
Hold on. Now we go. Let's go to the Irish people. Irish people were literally held in slavery.
Listen, those things were bad too, right?
They're all bad.
Yeah.
That's my point.
For sure, they're all bad. But we're talking about America specifically here, right?
Yeah.
And so let's just a couple of things. Number one, you are correct. I agree that it is bullshit that people discredit not just you, but any race. And their hard work and dedication, and almost like villainizing people for how they were born, you know, because that's ridiculous. And I think that you do have a right to be mad about that. Like that's
after fucking 40 years, it gets annoying.
Yeah. Well, especially, and then you probably have even more because you're like, what are you talking about? Like I've had black friends my whole life. Like I played sport. Like I did it. Like you, like for you, like it's like this is stupid. What are you doing that? So that is validated as to be angry.
Yeah.
Like you are like, hey.
Well, I'm not really angry.
Well,
it's just like,
it's stupid.
It's like, man, like
100%. Like, what else can I do? You're like, I get money. Like that. Like literally, what else can I do? Right? You're like, I have free podcasts. I help everybody. Like
I do what I can.
Like the world is better because of your impact. You can't deny that.
Well,
that's just the facts.
That's you too.
But it is. It is. Like that's real talk. I'm not
you
saying
too.
that sarcastically.
I know that.
Yeah. And you're saying like, yo, there's this whole story about white privilege, but I had to live in the shittiest place ever. And my mom's white. Like ironically, there's this big thing where the
whole family, like
Also,
that raised me as white. So
Yeah,
it's
you're
like,
like-
where's none of them had it.
Also,
Well, who are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Like, are we talking about like? Hold on. Are we talking about like Anderson Cooper, who grew up as a Vanderbilt in the Vanderbilt mansion, and his property was passed down, and he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars? That's white privilege.
that's what.
And
Yeah,
like
100%.
But like
Yeah.
that's such a small percentage.
So I think it's just a big deal, but I think it's a
Because
smaller
that's
concept.
that fits in the framework of the example that you're providing.
Yes.
Which is 200 years ago, their family passed down, and he's had privilege
but-
because of it. And clearly he's had it because he's
I think what's
ridiculous.
So, like the if is did you have it? Did you have it? Did you have it? But the absolute was we didn't have it.
but most people don't have it.
But no, like no, like but we weren't even allowed to have it. It's just like I'm not. My only point. First of all, even if you don't, what I'm saying I believe to be true. It doesn't change the fact that anybody has an excuse to not be successful in present day.
Today, right.
Now,
Right.
I'm also going to acknowledge that it is harder for some people. But guess what? Still not a excuse. It's your deck of cards. Play accordingly, and it is what it is.
Well, that's reality.
You must win.
That's
That's
right.
reality.
Yeah.
And I think that's
well,
the
that's
part
what
of
we
the
talk
conversation.
about. You and I have talked about
100%.
that for decades.
That is
Here's the reality. For some it's going to be fucking harder.
Yeah.
That's
it. So and now
people
move
it's
forward.
be
And now move
easier.
forward.
Yeah.
So all on the same page there, and you're right.
No, I mean that's a fair
message
that's
is
that's
it's being lost. It's
well,
being
what you
lost.
said is a fair point. Okay, and I would like to acknowledge that because you didn't have it. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Some white people had it, but most white people also didn't have it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's my thing. It's like if we're talking about,
But also, it's
But I don't know that
let
that's-
Let me just like one other point too is like the biggest advantage that someone can have generationally, as we know here, is here. It's not the possessions, etc. And honestly, knowledge takes generations to pass sometimes. So when our generation starts here and we weren't allowed to read, then we weren't allowed to get property, and now we're not. And now you have this group of people who at times it feels like you're saying, hey, why don't you guys just get your shit together? And it's like, we're trying to catch up.
but everybody
Because it takes a generation to pass down. So if you look at the stats for black people, it is getting better. It's getting better for everybody. But while that gap, and that's why you have movements like affirmative action, et cetera, it's to help accelerate from the deceleration.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Right? So
okay.
that's how these things came about. I'm not saying it should or not, but that's how it came about.
Let me
right?
let me ask,
Right, yeah.
let me say this real quick because I think this is important, right?
Yeah.
Like I look at it like this. Again, I have two daughters.
see, I look at it like this: how many white people who were qualified for jobs were fired or not given jobs to an unqualified person of color? Is that not racism?
Watch this. Now they may have.
Hold on, is that not racism?
I think maybe, yeah. I think
It's
one could argue, but also,
unconstitutional.
especially, one, let's just say they're both qualified, and that still would be racist if you're doing it. However, it was an effort to try and accelerate,
that's
right?
a-
And now, like, good or bad, it's like there's pros and cons to all of this,
Right.
And so I think it's a hard issue, period. Because look, if I'm born today and I'm white, I'm saying suck my dick. I'm not giving you money for what happened a long time ago because I don't give a. I got bills to pay and life is hard. I understand that. Also, too, in the same breath, you can't be mad or let me rephrase it like this. If that is the attitude or energy that's going to be put out about it, how can you also expect people to be empathetic to your cause?
Well,
and like whatever that may be,
Well-
generally speaking,
well,
right? It's
okay.
like-
So there's the opposite of that too. So if you're told that you're racist because of the color of your skin, and if you're told that you don't get opportunities because other people who may be equally as qualified or less qualified get them instead, how does that solve the racial problem? Because we know what that does. That makes the people who are getting hate the other people.
Yeah, for
That's-
sure.
that's a
I mean,
fiction,
look,
and
you
that's
can
my
you can
point,
you
man.
can
It's
understand everybody's like anger in the situation, but
Well, I
also,
mean,
too,
you can't-
going back to winners.
you can't
wins,
solve
it's like,
racism
look, if you
with
don't
more
agree-
racism.
You
Yeah,
can't
but
do it, bro.
I don't know if necessarily like put it this way: are we racist if there's a I don't know like let's call it bias. Let's say that we're in a race and there's somebody with one leg and we gave them a wheel. But now they can beat us in the race.
No, we call that the
hold
Paralympics.
on. But now
that's
we can
the
Paralympics.
we don't race together. It's a different thing.
Yeah, that was called segregation. I get it.
Right,
That's
right.
my point.
Listen, it has its place sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We got men and women sports.
That's why he called you Uncle Tom.
Okay, so
you see what I'm
where's
saying?
where's the expiration on that?
So going. Now that's a fair question. I want to get to that because that's a good ass point. But yeah, like if someone had a will and we gave them a will, we're not gonna all be like, oh, we're racist now, because they have a chance. But they can't beat us because they got a will now. And so now things are competitive. We got to step up our game to get ours. But we also know there's enough for everybody to eat. So there's that. Now the expiration. That's a hard part, right? Because it's like, how far back in time do we get? Now, mind you, this is not. Let
me ask you something.
Like
let me ask you something.
My grandmother dealt with
let me ask you
segregation.
something.
Wasn't allowed to like go to the same school. Right. So this is not a far away thing.
So did our family.
In history. Yeah.
So we're Italians. So we're Irish. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's other races that get benefits. Native
bro,
Americans, they get paid big money.
Listen,
like,
every
it's not like
hold on,
it's a
stop.
thing.
Every culture that exists at some point in time was held in slavery bondage.
Yeah,
every one of them.
Correct, but because
hold
we're
on.
Americans, we're dealing with American history.
Hold on. So if America was founded on the ideals that all men were created equal, and they weren't back then.
But
hold on.
Yeah,
let me make a point.
All right.
We got to the point where Civil War. Okay. Yeah. In the Civil War, do you know who died the most to free the slaves?
Probably white people.
Right, bro.
A lot of them.
My house.
I mean, you don't get a cookie for that.
Hold on. No.
You know who was fighting to keep them though? It was a lot of black people too.
Not only that. Hold on. Wait. I'll make a point. I live. When you come to you haven't been to my house.
Yeah, we'll go after.
We're gonna go after. Where I live. Ulysses S. Grant used to have a house there. Okay. Ulysses S. Grant was white. He was the 18th president of the United States. The reason that he became president of the United States was because during the Civil War, he was literally one of the generals who went to the plantations and killed the slave owners himself and freed the slaves. All right. And he started the party called the Radical Republicans. Okay. The Republican Party has been anti-slavery and anti-segregation forever.
Okay.
All right. That was the whole premise of the party. When this happened in the Civil War, and hundreds of thousands of how many people died in the Civil War?
No, a shit ton.
Look it up. You got a computer.
Millions.
And they were mostly white. Okay. Where does that where do we forget about that happened?
No, it just doesn't change the fact that it's still, once the Civil War ended, it wasn't like racism ended or that like
racism will never
equal.
end.
Well, it wasn't like things were equal.
620,000.
Okay, 620,000, mostly white people. That is never talked about. It's never acknowledged. It's never. I think
it's acknowledged. Like I mean, it's fair to acknowledge. Like I think that's
you might acknowledge it, but it's not.
I mean, that's a good point.
Well,
but also,
but my point is, so this leads into the question I ask of what the expiration date is and where the
okay. So I asked you this question of how long do you think since that Civil War ended things became equal? When did it become equal?
I don't think things are equal.
Okay, all right then. Same.
I think that's fallacy, bro. No.
You didn't let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay. Equal.
You didn't finish what I'm saying.
But like super unequal.
No.
Yeah.
Things aren't equal. They're never going to be equal.
That's a fallacy.
Ever for anybody ever. I have a lot of white friends who came in way better situations. I have a lot of white friends that I was born into a better situation.
Yeah.
Same for you.
Yeah.
Do you have black friends that were born in better?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have black friends that were born worse?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the whole idea that there will ever be equal outcome is not real.
Yeah,
okay.
I agree, but we're going to try to make things fair because that's what we do as a leader.
Okay.
Right? Like
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's what we should we should be fair.
Yeah. And fair is hard to decide.
Hold on. Is it fair to say in that 2025 that we do not have a much better system than we had in 1776?
I completely disagree.
You don't think?
I was you would own me right now. I wouldn't even be allowed to talk.
I'm saying the opposite.
Wait.
I'm saying in 2025, are we not better, more equal now?
Like, what?
No.
Yeah.
Dude, no shit.
Yeah.
bro.
I was like, what?
No.
I expect that from DJ, but
No. I'm saying in 2020, okay, the bottom line of what I'm trying to get at is this. At the end of the day, personal responsibility drives outcome.
I agree with that.
Okay. And if we continue to tear open this wound of how unfair it has been, we are victimizing the people today to believe that they cannot be successful. This is a big problem that happens in our schools right now. Little white kids are told, you're racist because you're white. And little black kids are told, you can't do shit because you're black. What does that do to them over the course of their life?
I think that probably happens more at home than
maybe,
there.
maybe,
but no, I get what you're saying.
That's what
either.
I think we're on the same page. I disagree with that message.
I want to say this because
right?
that's my whole piece, right? Like I look at the equation for success, right? To me, like,
do you think it's right? Go ahead.
Let me say that because I've been around Andy for 5 going on 6 years. I understand the equation for success. Right. And for me and what my family is trying to do, I'm trying to break generational curses. All of that. For me, white privilege, black privilege, and any of that stuff, it does not go into the equation. Period.
At this point in time.
At this point in time.
To become successful.
Because here's the thing. Success does not give a fuck what color you are, where you came from, how hard it was. It doesn't. That's not in that equation. It's not.
Look,
so for my daughter, right? Like I want my daughter to be successful. I want her to be successful. Am I going to go to my daughter and tell her, "Hey, babe, listen, like, she's in private school.
Yeah,
she goes to private school. Mom, stay-at-home wife, right? Like she's good. But guess what, babe? That white privilege that's out there, it's going to hold you back no matter how hard you try. Like, that's not the conversation.
But it comes in this, like, because I think we all agree there. Like,
I can't tell my daughter that shit.
Listen,
let me give you a very.
Let me go one, and then I'll come back in there. No one believes it more than that than me. Like I hate a fucking victim story. Like I hate the bitch shit. I don't believe in any of that shit. Like success is there. Like no excuses. That's what I believe in. I think it comes down to now that I'm giving, right, in a position to give. Thank God. I acknowledge that I worked my ass off for it. I also acknowledge luck. That there were some things I was born into with my privilege that I got into. Now, I had a choice.
Well, that's what I said. I said privilege exists. It's not just white.
But I have a choice. I can donate my $1 million for my Boys and Girls Club to wherever I want. So I could have done it in like Scripps Ranch in Carlsbad, right? Like where it's the really nice, predominantly white, happens to be predominantly white areas. Or I could do it in Southeast San Diego, where it is minority primarily, etc. I chose to go there, not because I'm racist, because that group needs to be
That's the need.
Yeah, that's the need.
That's the need.
Correct. And so I just don't.
That's okay.
Now
that doesn't make you racist. I don't fucking.
No, listen, 100%.
Yeah.
This is where I want more conversation, or I think, sometimes the other
this
side
is a great.
is,
this is great.
This is a great conversation for sure. But I just I like what you said is because that's the need, and I think sometimes groups feel like people don't think there's a need. And there is a need.
Oh, like, you're saying like they pretend like it's not real.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, all you got to do.
That's the only thing that's annoying to me is like.
But see, here's the thing. So there is a fucking double standard there. Okay. All right, because yes, you go down to downtown St. Louis, bro. I mean, there's a need.
I can show you some need.
I'll show you, but I will. But I will also take you 20 minutes out this way, and we will go to the trailer parks, and you will tell me it does not look any different. It's just the color of the people.
And listen, and that's why it's like, look, we need help on all sides, right? But I just don't think any one side should be negated.
At some point in the time, for us, okay.
Well, that's going away because everybody's f***ing each other. There's not going to be any white kids anyway.
That's a whole different conversation.
We're all going to look the same anyway.
That's a whole different conversation because that is engineered intentionally to eliminate. Here's the reality, dude.
Everybody's going to be mixed.
That's real. That's real. But here's another thing. White people, okay, can you say you're proud to be black?
Yeah, you can say you're proud to be white too.
No, I can't. No, I can.
You can't say white power.
Well, first of all, it's not. First of all, let me tell you something. There's a difference because I've never been able to be socially accepted saying that.
Sure.
Okay. Latino people can say Latino pride. Black people could say black pride. White people say white pride.
Oh boy,
it's a big problem.
It's the catch up.
Okay,
That's
no,
how it goes with
no,
winning.
no.
It's like, look,
I'm gonna make a point.
Hold on.
No, hold on. Let me make a point.
We're winning. We're winning in life, Andy. You and I are winning in life. We can't say a lot of things because we're winning. Because people will say arrogant.
I say whatever I want. But my point here, my point on this is that because I've never been able to think like that, and I've been told that my identity is not in my race.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have race. I don't look at white people and be like, oh yeah, they're like me, and I'm proud to be at all. Like I don't even think that way.
Yeah.
And so then culture tells white people they're racist on top of it. It's like, the you talking about, dude? Like,
yeah, I know.
I've never been able to even.
Yeah, like how does that make sense?
So there's multiple sides to this equation, and here's the bottom line, bro. If we're going to be what America says that it should be, at some point, okay, if you fall down where we're walking out and you skin your elbow and it's bleeding, what happens after a day or two?
I'm pink.
No. Yeah. Well, what happens? Okay, a scab forms.
Yeah.
Okay, and if we continue every time that scab starts to get better, we peel it the off. It never heals.
Okay. This is good.
Here's my point. My point is this. There has to be, and I don't think that what you said, I really honestly don't. I don't think that anything you said is actually wrong. I don't think anything he said is wrong.
And vice versa.
And I don't think I said it wrong.
These are perspectives. Knowledge privilege, but everything else is
no, look, but at some point, the men of this country have to stop tearing the wound open so that it can heal. And that's the truth.
Well, so question, let me ask you both this, because this is a question for both of you. Now, with that insight and thinking about what you said earlier, which I agree with the government, it's like, yo, we need to get rid of all that shit. And Trump comes in and he's like, let's delete it all because it's bullshit. Would you be opposed because of it is time to move forward? If Trump comes out and he goes, you know what, it is time to move forward. There was some up shit in the country. It was this ideal to make America great, but it was just for white men. But we all know that it needs to be for every man, every woman, doesn't matter your color. And he rips up the Constitution and he burns the flag and starts a brand new one.
I don't think that's, yes, I would be opposed to that.
Yeah, I'd be opposed.
Here's why.
I'm curious though.
Well, no,
why?
here's why. Here's why.
Could you understand why I wouldn't be super excited about the flag though?
No.
Not at this point.
No.
But
Not
here's
today.
what I will say,
Not
Billy.
2025.
Here's what I will say. And bro, you know I love you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and I actually really appreciate that you have your opinions and actually back them up with a argument and not just say stupid ass shit.
Dumb quotes, yeah, for sure.
I believe that the idea of, like when I say, hey man, I'm a patriot, I am not saying that I am a fan of the way shit is now. What I'm saying is I'm a fan of the way that it was designed to be. And America has never lived up. This is what I think needs to be said.
Okay.
America has never lived up to what it was designed to be from the start. And if we actually took what it was designed to be from the start and actually applied that right now,
we'd be fine.
We'd have the best fucking thing ever.
I agree.
So
with an asterisk of just saying how it was designed to be for all people, because it wasn't designed to be for all people. If it was designed to be for all people, then I'm with that.
No.
You know what I mean?
Back then, it said all men are created equal. They did not.
But your vote's 3/5.
I understand this.
Yeah.
I understand this. What I'm saying is if you took the same document and you apply it today and you actually lived by that, we'd have the perfect country. Mm-hmm. The problem is, just like many businesses, that there was a business plan that nobody followed the right way. Okay. So I think that the answer is not, okay, if we have a problem in business, right? Let's say you and I are business partners and we make this plan and we say, the business isn't working. Well, what's the first thing we should do? We should look and see if we're following the plan. We haven't followed the plan. We don't just tear up the plan.
Yeah.
We audit ourselves. Are we following the system?
Sure.
Okay. And the audit of America over the course of the last 200 years is, in my opinion, that while it has gotten better, we have never actually lived to the system that was designed to be.
Okay.
And so I think that if we actually started applying what it was supposed to be in reality, the way all men are created equal and all of these other things, I think we end up with the perfect product. We just have a bunch of people, as you said, who have gotten into power and utilized it for their own benefit.
Yeah.
And I do think that it would be, I think it's very important to acknowledge that there has been massive amounts of progress that have happened over the course of this time. And we are much closer to what it should be at this point.
That's fair.
Culturally.
Yeah.
But I believe that we are much further away from a leadership standpoint where these guys have started to create a system that pretends to be free that actually isn't free. And I really think that we would all do ourselves a service, you as a black man, me as a not white man, but a white man, okay, to lead people to unity so that we can understand that it's not us that's f***ing it up for each other. It's those motherfuckers up there that are constantly telling us, you're this, you're that. And then while at the same time we're fighting, they're stealing our fucking money, bro. They're stealing it all.
I think that's fair.
So I don't think that the answer is to tear it up.
But like I would tell you from a symbolism.
I think the answer is to take the tyrants and put their heads on some stakes and make sure that no one ever does that shit again. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think that's well put. And I just think
you have sensitivities about it.
Yeah, well, no,
but you got to understand, I do too. Yeah, because there's flip sides to it.
Yeah, I think. I mean, yeah, for sure, right? Like, I mean, I think.
But none of that shit it's not my identity.
No, it's not my. Look, it's not
yours either.
Not gonna stop me from doing what I want to do. I just think like for America to be unified, right? And if we are, because you're bringing up a good point of like, when does it end? When does it stop? To me, I think we end those docs, in those processes, and create a new one. Like, I think that's how it would end. It's like, hey, this is kind of a symbol of.
Well, could you make a better system than that one? It was on.
I mean, maybe we rewrite it in different words. Just a sign of symbolism of like, yo, we're acknowledging that this was shit is kind of and moving forward. Well, I bring this up because I come back full circle with, like I had a friend of mine, and she was really taken back at like, now mind you, I pledge allegiance and I stand up for the flag, but also. In the same stand, I can respect somebody who doesn't. If you look at the history and see what everything that would happen, like it wouldn't make sense for them to stand. And so I just think it would be ideas, or maybe those stand and there's just a new additional doc, like a new declaration. I think the whole thing is, and we do need new, but I see a lot of backlash when people don't just bend the knee to the old documents, the old Constitution, all these things that were written at a time.
Why do you think that is?
Benefit. Because they're protecting their own.
Do you think it could be something else? Like, for example, like, I don't know, like my grandfather being killed in World War II after fighting on D-Day and never meeting my dad.
Yeah, I mean,
do you think that me growing up without a grandfather and my dad growing up without a dad would, in the name of what this country's supposed to be, would make me feel a certain way when people don't stand for the flag?
100%. But you just like that same passion, you can also see how somebody else's dad and grandpa was killed because of it. And I think that's the hard part, is it's both sides. You're not wrong. Neither is John Doe, who's, or my ancestors who were killed, because we're not wrong. I just think we're here. And I'm just a fan of everybody kind of understanding everybody's perspective. Like I would hope that the comment here is, I think this is a healthy conversation. Both sides had really good perspectives. Let's grow together. But you're not. You're going to have comments and someone's going to be like, they're super fucking far right and they're racist. And he's a libtard.
Our people, no.
Right? Like,
I don't think no. Our people are very center.
Okay, good. Then I hope people can see that we're all on the same team.
Of course they
can have this discussion.
That's my biggest point, bro. I think what it comes down to, we talk about expiration of it. The problems that we have in this country, they're not black problems. They're not white problems. They're American problems. And I think the moment that Americans start realizing, hey, we're all on the same fucking team here. Yeah. And start looking at all of our separate needs and stop looking at them as separate needs. Okay. No, like the poverty that's in fucking downtown St. Louis, that's all our problems.
I agree with that.
The poverty that's out in fucking, South County.
That's the most unified you've sounded.
Well, I mean, but like, listen, but like that, but
I feel that
is my belief. You know what I'm saying? And I think the problem is like when we constantly try to, oh, well, this is a black issue. Oh, well, they got their white privilege. This is a white issue. No, bro, like the moment we can all address it together, I'm like, hey, these are all of our problems. We have to solve
like
all of these problems. That's when we move past the expiration.
Dude, I agree with that. But you can't call people racist for pointing out the problem.
That's what I'm saying. But again, if we all own.
Well, then with Andy, with that, just they need to state the whole problem, right? Like I think state the problem because you're right. The data is the data at this point, but to anyone's going to be sensitive.
Well, I don't think people like hearing the truth about the whole problem.
But anyone's going to be sensitive about the problem if you don't say the how and why. So, for example, if you walked into me and let's just say I punched my boy Paul. And you're like, well, you guys just punched, etc. And I didn't tell you, he just literally killed 3 people in the other room. You'd be like, I'd be so fucking mad because I'd be like, you didn't understand why. Like, there needs to be acknowledgement of
listen,
why.
Dude, I don't buy.
Listen
here, I don't buy in to the black community being statistically ultra violent compared to the white community.
For sure,
for what happened 300 years ago. I don't buy into that.
Yeah, it's economics. It's economics,
well,
right?
Like, I know. I don't think it is. I think it's. I think it's
low income places.
Yeah, is it? Hold on, is it?
It is.
No, it's not because the murder rate is not the same in white poverty places.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah,
and the thing is, I think that's the other thing.
And then we'll say, well, it's the culture. They listen to rap music. Yeah, right. Well, no, it's not because lots of white people listen to rap.
So what do you think it is?
I don't know, but I think we need to figure it out.
And that's the thing. It's like I think specifically like black community, bro. Like we have an accountability issue.
I think so too.
I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, when Lil Tyrone kills Lil JJ, it's okay. We'll make the t-shirt.
But also, who says that?
What do you mean?
Who says it's okay? And like I think
they don't say it's okay. They act like it doesn't exist.
I think most people agree with that.
But we don't call it out. We don't call it out. Billy, here's an example, bro. I was a police officer, right? Like I've seen death, I've seen murders, right? Like when Lil JJ gets killed in the block, right? And you go knocking on doors, anybody see anything? No, nope. I ain't see shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's a problem.
I agree.
That's a problem. And I think we have a massive accountability issue within the black culture, bro. And it's like, it's a tough thing because nobody wants to talk about it.
I can tell you, there's a big difference.
I think that's fair. I think
that's a real
point to say.
It's a big because, dude, in white culture, if some, like in my family, dude,
when Johnny does some dumb shit.
We're like, that guy's a idiot.
Johnny did some
dumb
that
shit. Guy.
He's right down the street.
He deserves to be in prison.
Everything you guys just said there is okay. It's just when you do that and then also not acknowledge white privilege, it's harder to hear.
But what does white privilege have to do?
It doesn't, but my point is...
Yeah, what's the hardest thing to hear?
Not putting those two things together.
What's the hardest thing to hear?
But what I'm saying is, though, just from listeners, being leaders, with voices, etc. when one side is just saying one thing, that's where the labels come. That's where people go, oh, DJ is racist or he's being an Uncle Tom, is because you just got to say both sides. Because then if you can say both sides, then you go, he's right, there is accountability. Just like if you're sitting 2 people down and if you only say the one thing old boy does, this person's going to feel the type of way. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just continue the conversation like we're having here.
Well, I think everybody has to be held to the same standard. That's it.
Yeah.
Like we can't have special when we start making special standards for some people and other people, then we create resentment, which creates more bias. So if we're going to fix it, everybody has to be held to the same standard. Everybody has to be held to the standard of their own personal actions. And we have to say what happened back then, that's not what caused you. Like right now, okay, look, let's take it away from race.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take it to there's another thing that's happening now that's very similar. This person killed 4 people because he had depression or he had I don't give a I don't give a if you were depressed. I don't care that you were having gender dysmorphia. You kill 4 months. You go to jail. Like, that's it. And so, like, dude, now we just covered this on the show last week. Mm-hmm. Some dude, what was the example with the mental health? This guy killed somebody or did something, and he was like, oh, he was suffering.
Oh, yeah, they released this guy. So he bombed the Tesla place.
Yeah, so there's a guy, white dude, right?
Yeah, white dude.
White kid.
You said bombing, I knew.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we didn't say fucking right. Club,
I knew what you meant.
That's fair. That's fair. See, this is the way it should be handled, bro. That's fair. Yeah. So anyway, this white dude bombs a Tesla, and then he gets let out because he claims that he's having mental health problems. That's bullshit.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I don't think you should be able to use any kind of excuse in anything. Like I'm on the other side. I think there should be harsh punishments for stupid shit.
Bro, I think we should go to I think we should be cutting people's hands off, putting them in the wood
You know what's
chipper.
funny is I actually believe that.
Yeah, because
it
it'll
would stop it. It would stop it. It literally like
It
hard
stop it
consequences are a good
immediately.
thing. It would stop it. It's like Singapore. You hear like, oh, if you put
How many
bubble gum
times do I
there,
talk about
you-
Singapore?
How do you?
Yeah.
I'm like, let me tell you. When I think about going to Singapore, the only thing I know, I'm not touching gum.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to chew it.
Yeah, because they'll
I don't need gum.
They'll pull your
Yeah.
pants down in public and beat your ass.
100%.
Like in front of everybody.
So yeah, I'm actually
Yeah.
a fan
So
of that.
so
Like,
let's start doing that, and we'll fix all the problems.
facts. Yeah,
Cut heads off,
Yeah.
cut hands off.
I don't disagree.
Cane, embarrass, shame fixes a lot of things.
It does.
So the bottom line is, here's the reality. I don't think you're wrong. I don't think I'm wrong either. I think but I don't think that these things are within our control other than what the example is that we set now forward.
Well, I think as leaders, it's a good conversation to have.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's like if someone took away just one additional perspective on all sides, cool. I think that helps, right?
Oh,
Like,
dude,
yeah,
look,
you know,
man.
it's
Like
sure. Yeah,
I'm
it's massive.
I'm still going to make fun of you.
Yeah, man, same. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't,
100%.
yeah.
I'll go get my tap dancing shoes.
Yeah. I mean, he gets it the worst, bro, because like, you know, the Uncle Tom shit.
Yeah.
But like, it's
honestly, how does that make you feel? Because that's pretty.
I mean, dude.
Pretty tough.
I mean, I've been on that wagon for like 5 years now. Because again, like you know, most people they don't know my past, bro. They don't know that I taught in inner city schools. They don't know that I've coached youth. I've sat on the board of
Hey,
directors.
you're young as hell, but done a lot of shit, DJ.
Bro, I've done a lot. I've done a lot, but like
It's
they
impressive.
don't see that. They don't
Right.
see that. And I think like the truth of the
and
matter
it's all
is,
good
though,
shit.
Like the
It's all
truth of
good
the matter
shit.
is,
Yeah,
bro,
for
I don't
sure.
think you can find somebody that cares more about the black community.
No.
I care a shit ton,
Yeah.
right? And I think what it comes down to again is like that's the end goal, and we may get there differently, but like the end goal is like there's some things we gotta fix.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And not addressing them ain't gonna fix them,
Yeah,
or just blaming the other side ain't gonna fucking fix
yeah,
them.
I agree with that. for
Like
sure.
we got like there's problems that we have to address, and I want the best for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I don't look at shit uniquely. I don't think it's uniquely these problems or these people problem. No, bro, we all got to fix it, man.
Yeah, like I think the best thing that anybody can do if you are experiencing any kind of racism, prejudice, whatever, is just move on and get rich. Get really successful.
No shit,
and
bro.
then make the change that you want to see.
Yeah.
Because like, you know what I don't like is there's this old saying that you guys see every single election year, and it's this. It's vote. Everybody says get out and vote. The truth is fucking run. You really want change? Run.
Well,
The only, you know, it's like the
Or-
conversation is vote, and then they give you orange juice or apple juice.
Or
Like that's not a choice.
or do what the Constitution says that we should do
Overthrow
and
the
have a
shit.
duty to do
Yeah.
is to overthrow tyrannical government.
That too.
That's
Yeah,
a fact.
yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
listen, we have failed. Our American people have failed their responsibility to keep the government in check. Period. That's it.
Yeah.
And whether that is, however that needs to be solved, it needs to be solved.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why I'm on the fucking list because I will openly say that.
Yeah.
It says in our fucking preamble, it says that we as American citizens have a responsibility to keep our government in check. We also have a responsibility to overthrow them if they get too, and we haven't, our fathers and the people before them have allowed these people to rape and pillage us financially, enslave us financially, and make it hard for all of us. And now what they're doing is they're telling in public school policy, they have started to start the division at 2 years old. When I was in preschool and grade school, at least they told us like, hey, you guys are all the same. They don't tell them that anymore. You know what I'm saying? And like, dude, I'm just so sick. Like, dude, how hard do you work?
You work hard.
You work hard as How is it okay for them to take more than half of your money and then
I think
that's
it's
not
crazy.
okay.
No, it's not.
That's not okay, man.
And the
And
money that they're taking, you know, that's supposed to be going to needs.
how much motherfucking money?
Give more. Out
How
of
much?
your pocket.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying, bro. How much more money would you like? It's so, and then they use it against they make everybody hate people like me and you
crazy.
because they say, well, all they're going to do is keep the money. That's actually makes no sense because if you were to say that the reason that I'm successful is because I'm greedy, and you were to say we tax him because if he's greedy, he's just going to make more money.
crazy.
Well, to make more money, I got to create more jobs, dumb. Okay, so I actually have to do more good. The greed in capitalism, if you actually believe that, actually is what creates the economy. So, like, it's either one or the other.
What's sad about what you're saying is you're correct, but because people won't be in our shoes,
They don't get it.
They're never gonna
Yeah,
get it.
I know.
It's almost like Okay, that's why we'll live our lives. And
I know. Well, but my point is that they intentionally stoke that fire so that they don't figure it out. The bottom line is this, bro. We are at a place in time where I don't know. I mean, I feel like I don't know. I personally feel responsible to at least try to fix what the is going on. Now, the only way I know how to do that is by changing the culture. And I'm a pretty good culture guy.
Would you ever run for office?
No, I don't think so, because the truth of the matter is that I believe that my strength is in developing culture. And I think that if we can get people to understand that if they become excellent and they become wealthy and they become healthy and they become good people and intelligent people, that by default creates a cultural revolution. And if the cultural revolution demands that,
people have to rise.
The government will fall in line. So politics is downstream from culture. So my answer to that is I feel like I can do more good here than I can there. I mean, if you look at Trump is getting blocked and this or that, you know, and like same thing when whoever's in office, they deal with, there's no way to get anything done. And the only way we as American citizens can fix anything is by taking responsibility for our own lives, our own wealth, our own thoughts, you know, and do everything the opposite of what they want us to do, because everything that they want us to do is for the benefit of them and not for the benefit of us.
I have a tagline that I like to always say, and this is to the world, I don't care what color you are, and that is get off your fucking knees. And what I mean by that is one thing I'll never do is beg for anybody's approval, beg for anything. And what I see, like, just take a big example, like, you know, the Oscars or shit like this. You see people up in arms. They didn't give us a Grammy. They didn't give us an Oscar. Go make your own motherfucking Oscar.
Not only that,
right?
How about this? Get like, fucking better.
Like, yeah, like get better, but like also like you don't need the approval for anyone, anything. Go make it. If you want something, go make it. Like literally go make it. And
you live by that.
I live by that
too, bro. Like you know how many times I've been told no? You know how many times I've been told I'm stupid? You know how many times I told I was never going to be able to do any of the shit that I've done? I don't like, that's normal for me. Like I don't.
Watch me.
Huh?
Watch me.
Yeah.
Watch me.
Like what the like that's the
because then if they see you do it and they know you and they grew up with you, and if they know that Andy could do it, that they can do it too, they have to deal with the harsh truth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, man.
It's real, man.
At the end of the day, you know, we're always going to have problems, and I think that the men of our generation have an obligation, this is my view, to stop tearing open the wounds that they want us to talk about and fight about and start getting everything aligned so that we can't be taken advantage of as a whole. And I think the more that we argue about race, while and discussing and arguing are two different things.
Yeah.
When there can be reasonable conversation, and it'd be no different than talking about the sports game. This could have happened or that could have happened. All we can deal with is what the is. And what is that for us to ever have our country back, people that look like you and people that look like me are going to have to figure out how to get along, because the number one way that we are taking advantage of is along that line.
I agree with that.
And through that line, everything else is accomplished.
Yeah, that's right. The minute that white culture and black culture start to get, I know y'all say we don't have a culture, but we do.
Yeah, we do. No, we do.
All right. But the minute
dry and unseasoned.
The minute, that's his line, bro. Yeah. So the minute though that we all get along and figure out that it's them causing this shit, they are f***ing done. And dude, that's why I care so much about the conversation. I hate race baiters. I hate antagonistic people along those lines that consistently tear that wound open so that it can never, they do that so that we never figure out how bad they are taking advantage of us.
You give them a greater enemy, right?
That's right, man.
Yeah, man.
So anyway.
Dude, this has been a great convo.
Yeah, we're going to have to wrap it up here.
Yeah, we gotta be
How long
done.
have we been going? We've been going.
3:10.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. That's the longest show we've had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was good, though. I feel like all the topics were
fucking
like,
right, bro. It was
so
awesome.
Important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid.
Bro, listen.
We are going to
What?
Well, I was going to just finish it off.
Stop complaining.
Yeah,
go
fine.
work. Learn AI.
Yeah.
Get rich. Change the world.
Yeah. Don't be racist.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't
man.
be racist.
Yeah.
But make racist jokes.
That's correct.
I think
jokes
that is
are fine.
that's the formula.
Racist jokes
Are
heal.
the best. They're the best.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it, man. But yeah, so let's wrap it up with our final segment of the show, guys. As always, thumbs up and dumb as fuck. We bring a headline in, we talk about it. It'll get one of those two options. So with that being said, a thumbs up or dumb as fuck headline reads, going viral, woman arrested after police find pet raccoon in driver's seat with crack pipe in its mouth during traffic stop. All right, let's have a racist guess here.
So
White or black?
hold on.
Are we playing white or black? Because that's a better game.
Raccoon with a crack pipe.
Where was it at?
Raccoon with a crack pipe.
I mean, the raccoon says white, crack says black. Mixed.
It was mixed, yeah. It was mixed. Yeah. So
That's your people, DJ.
No, this was white girl dating a black guy. Thank you.
okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let's dive
that's
into
that's
it.
actually a pretty good guess.
that's
Probably
it.
solid.
All right, but is she a big one or a little one?
Is she what?
Is she big?
Oh, she's definitely
Big?
big. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of ass.
All right. Well, let's
Lot of
dive
ass.
into
A
it.
lot of ass.
An Ohio woman was
All right.
arrested after police in Springfield Township found a raccoon with a crack pipe in its mouth during a traffic stop. 55-year-old Victoria Vidal of Akron, Ohio, was arrested on Monday and charged with F3 possession of drugs, 3 counts of possession of drug paraphernalia, ABC News reported. The police officer was in absolute disbelief as he discovered a pet raccoon named Chewy holding the meth pipe.
With Tyrone in the passenger seat.
Let's check this clip out.
Hello?
The raccoon has her meth pipe.
As what?
Oh my god.
Her meth pipe.
No.
He's
fucking
playing with
way.
the meth pipe
Hello?
right now. No, don't reach
I
for
haven't done
it.
yet.
That's
I don't know
evidence
where
now.
you're at.
Oh, I don't want him to have
Well,
that.
that's why I'm gonna do it. Hey, buddy.
Huh?
It's okay.
Is that the lady
Okay,
there?
you're on. He'll be here in 2 minutes.
She's only 55.
That's meth, bro.
A few minutes?
Yeah,
Okay,
this is
cool.
what she's smoking meth in.
Okay.
The raccoon's playing with her meth pipe.
She's mad about it.
Oh, there's no. He's
another one.
trying to smoke it.
All right. Thanks.
Listen to the cop.
All right. Enough fun and games.
You're going to jail.
Oh my god.
Holy hell.
Okay, so she was white,
Yeah,
but she didn't have ass.
she didn't have no.
No, she
No, I
didn't.
No,
No way.
We all missed.
Yeah, we did. That was
Look, that raccoon was trying to take a trip.
Yeah, he
that's
was.
actually pretty.
Bro,
crazy, yeah.
that lady's only 55.
Mm-hmm.
That
do
lady
drugs,
looks.
kids.
That lady looks
Don't do
155.
More.
Drugs bad. Don't
Drugs
do
are
drugs.
bad.
Fuck.
Drugs are bad.
Yeah. And if you do drugs, don't do meth.
She's starting with the raccoon.
What we got on this thumbs up, dumb as fuck? What we got?
I got,
Dumb as
I,
fuck.
yeah, I yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's thumbs up on the cop. He was having a good time.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, bro, like I couldn't imagine saying that, like seeing that in person. Like there's a raccoon
She
trying to
goes-
smoke a meth.
I mean, how did the raccoon get in the car? That means this is her pet
It's her
raccoon.
pet
She let the
raccoon.
raccoon
It
in
is-
the car.
it is
like,
Ohio.
and it's something they regularly do. The way the raccoon's going back for it.
It is Ohio.
All right, thumbs up.
Bro, have you ever seen like this? Do you guys got raccoons out there?
Yeah, we have raccoons. Yeah.
Bro, we got big ones here, bro. Like they can let
They
themselves.
fight. They're like Violet.
Yeah,
Really,
they
you
can
see
let
raccoons.
themselves into a door. Like they can open doors and shit.
Oh, see, yeah,
Yeah.
ours aren't trained like that. Yeah, we ain't there yet.
All right.
Thumbs up. All right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, Andy, Billy, that's all I got.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, you-
Thanks for coming out, man.
Dude, this
Fucking
is
great
dope.
show.
This is
Yeah.
good. I mean, this is good. I mean, it's important.
Yeah.
You know, I like, fun fact. This is probably the only second podcast I've done this year, and I've been just on a no tear. But the reason why I did it is because one, I think 75 hard is so important. It was so impactful for me, just to get my shit back in the game and just what it's doing for people. You know what I did is I went in the Facebook group, and it was actually the most powerful thing for me. So I went in the Facebook group, and my motivation to do it is to see everybody starting. And day one, everyone's complaining, and like the first week, oh, what can I do? And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to be that.
Yeah. No
It
shit.
literally was my biggest motivation.
Yeah.
Like and then you see the transformation, day 25. They're like, I was such a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that. I was like,
Yeah.
that's why it's.
Why do I
it's
have to
work.
do this? Why can't I just do it this way?
Yeah.
You can't even understand. That's the whole reason
That's
you are
the
where the
whole
you are.
Yes.
Well, Make it easier. No shit. That's what you did your whole life, bitch.
100%.
Anyway.
Yeah. So it felt like, man, this is important. And then secondly, just like knowing your message for years, like it's a positive one, you know.
Well,
and I think it's important. So
bro, I
thanks for having
appreciate
me.
you, man.
Yeah.
No, it's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Like if you live closer, I'd have you on the show every fucking day.
That'd be fun,
just so we can argue.
Next up, abortion. No, sir.
We're coming back for that party.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah. Bash.
All right, dude.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, guys. Well, don't be a hoe.
Don't be a hoe. Share the show.